STLRV.net.
Are we waiting on your little pill to hit home base?
No, I got a chewable. It works faster.
Oh, so we can get naughtier sooner?
And longer.
Victory Men's Health has launched VictoryRx.com. Get prescribed our #1 ED medication. It has the combined power of Cialis and Viagra in a chewable tablet and better absorption. It's easy. Get a consultation on VictoryRx.com and your ED chewable. VictoryRx.com, where men's sexual health matters.
Millions are watching live policing every Friday and Saturday night. Are you? Get Reels Plus and stream the hit show On Patrol Live.
We got more than 50 cameras across the country following law enforcement in real time.
And that's just the start. Reels Plus has thousands of hours of true crime investigations, behind-the-scenes celebrity stories, and unscripted thrills. Subscribe now for just $4.99 a month, plus a free 7-day trial at reelsplus.com or wherever you stream. That's Reels with a Z.
This is attorney Todd Nissenholtz of Kaufman Townsend. Many of our clients are victims of negligent drivers. They put their trust in us, and we help them recover physically and financially. Their words carry more weight than ours.
They guided me through every step of the legal process with clarity and expertise, ensuring that I always felt informed and supported.
Injured? Call.
So it's 7 o'clock in St. Louis, Doug.
Where's Tim? Where's Tim?
It's also 7 o'clock in Webster, Ladue, Cottleville. Where else is it 7 o'clock, Doug? Chicago,
Lee May and
May.
Florissant and Berkeley. 7 o'clock in all those places.
7 o'clock. All around St. Louis. The greater St. Louis in the central time zone. It is Team A, brought to you by Brown & Croup and Martin. Doug, Jackson with you. Tim's out. Chairman Kurt is out. Somehow, Doug, we'll cobble together a little program. Somehow.
All right.
We're going to forge ahead.
3-4 hours or so.
Well, I think it's 4. I think officially it's 4. I mean, you could stop at 3, but it's officially 4.
Well, if you have onboarding, sometimes it doesn't go to full 4.
A lot of onboarding. You know, when I started here, and I'm still new, there was a lot of, I mean, you guys have all done the Hubbard training. People don't understand that started in reality.
In truth, yeah.
Yes, there is actually a lot of corporate paperwork. We've got that at the Two Fox as well. And occasionally, Doug, you get an email that says you need to update your training and don't get caught phishing. PHI, right?
Right.
Don't click. But then I often wonder when I get these notes from corporate on the TV side as well, is this a fake email? It says click here for your training. I'm like, wait a minute, is this a trick?
You've been fooled into being trained.
Right, well, the training is not to click on things like this. And then I get an email that says, you're behind on your security training. Click here. I'm like, I'm not falling for this.
No.
Then you get an email from your boss saying, how come you didn't do your training? I'm like, okay, I give up.
I'm sure corporations like the one we work for get this kind of scam stuff all the time.
Yeah.
Over all their stations around the country. It's a nonstop battle. And they're also, media companies are worried about certain things, certain laws that you have to follow on the air or Lick my hoop? No, yeah, you can't say things like that. That was part of the training.
I learned that in week 1, Doug. They actually played a bunch of drops, and they said to me, they looked me straight in the eye, and Kioski said, never say any of this. And I said, but that's Doug Vaughn.
I like sausage as much as the next guy.
Something else papers.
You
and they said, please don't, for the love of God, talk about the NHL. Just don't say that. Craig, would you say you guys should be bullying these hoes?
Can't say that.
I always ask for context. I don't know what the
I
context
think that was
of
Craig,
that.
maybe Craig Counsell. No, it was
Ruby?
Yeah, I think it was.
I don't know a lot of Craigs.
I can't remember. So there was something. There was some audio of some sports talk guy we played that was saying these guys should be bullying these hoes. And you were doing the scared media guy getting ready to ask the question.
Nervous media guy.
I thought that was a question you asked of Berube during the Stanley Cup chase.
Yeah. It was right after the hand pass. I thought that was a good time to just kind of mess with Chief.
Were you ever nervous media guy?
Oh, I'm sure, yeah. I mean, I've told the story when I was really new here. Paul Newman, his driver, Doug was probably standing next to me. Frank probably too. Michael Andretti won the race, probably the summer of 98, the Indy, the kart race, whatever they called it then, at Worldwide Technology Raceway. And there's always handlers, Doug. Yeah. And Mr. Newman will be available shortly right over here. No one-on-ones. This will be a scrum interview. I'm like, wow, Paul Newman. And we get in the scrum, and then I just said, wow, people said he couldn't win again or something stupid because he was in a huge drought. And Paul Newman was looking down, just answering questions. And I just said I had to chime in. And he just looked up, he looked right at me, he said, who are they? I went, what's that? People and stuff. I totally just went down my leg.
Yeah.
I was
Paul Newman.
I was like 29. It's Paul Newman. I'm like, I got nothing. I'm not exactly a motorsports insider.
Yeah, he'd be on the Mount Rushmore of a guy you'd like to have a cocktail with.
Oh, and not ask a stupid question with.
Exclusively asked about the Sting.
But when I saw he and Robert Redford, they were kind of a duo there for a couple of movies. When I saw them interview, they were both extremely serious, no-nonsense guys that didn't seem to care to
suffer
yuck
fools.
It up. Yeah.
My mom interviewed Redford and said, quite a delight.
Really? Mm-hmm. Oh, that's good.
See, I could see him being a little more jovial.
Yeah, I
think Newman might have been a little more serious. Not a bad guy, just serious.
I think what Doug was saying was more accurate to the larger landscape of both of them. Redford, not always the most easy to interview from what I've heard.
No.
But in certain times, probably okay.
But there are people, celebrities that are hit or miss.
Yeah.
And I'm sure if you're friendly to 9 people out of 10, and then one time you go off at the barista out in Hollywood, and then the next day the Inquirer, Affleck goes off on barista. You're like, right. God, I was just, I just took a bum and let him live in my bag. Now this, you can't win.
No. It always bothers me a little when actors and actresses who got into the business to be stars, to be seen, to have their voices heard, to be all over TV and movies. And then when someone wants to take their picture or talk to them, they act like they're put out. Wait a minute. You wanted to be famous. Here you are. Don't act like you're put out by it.
Yeah, I think that in most cases, you have like paparazzi, like just hounding you when you're walking up and down the street.
That's different. That no one should have to put up with that.
Yeah.
But in just a normal interview,
sure,
if someone's coming out to talk with you about your movie and you act like you're put out, that they're doing it, you're too big of a star to talk. That doesn't cut it.
I agree.
There's a story that could be told. Bob Costas joins us at 8:30, and he told this story a few years ago on my podcast, and he said, now, am I able to swear in this? I said, absolutely. That's the beauty of the podcast. Although, as I was telling Doug before the show, right now, what's popular, there's a lot of bros stuff out there, and I'll try and sample popular show just to see what people, and it's just a lot, oh, bro, F&A, man, I was at the effing game. I was in the front row, bro. Oh, my effing guy. Oh, wait, no, hold on, bro. It's just too much, but you can speak freely without the FCC monitoring it. And Costas told the story, and I'm thinking of this because Jack Nicholson is somebody who is a huge star, but he doesn't really, other than going to Laker games, you don't see him seeking the limelight. And he was at an NBA game, and we'll let Bob tell it, because the producers, and we all have bosses at some level, they told Costas at halftime, go get Jack Nicholson, have him come on the halftime show on NBC. And he said, he's not going to do that. And they said, go ask him. So he said he walked up and
fun.
I'll let him tell the story because in short, Jack Nicholson said, F no.
Oh.
F no. And I'm like, that's when, we're all in the same boat. I don't care how big your job is at NBC. There's always somebody a little bigger who's going to squash you.
I got that from a much smaller star. Remember Chuck Mangione?
Yeah,
the musician?
He played the trumpet or like the horn.
Well, he was pretty big like in the 80s. And when I was
why would Doug Vaughn, sportscaster extraordinaire, be messing with
I'll tell
surprise guest?
Yeah, that'd be great.
He was at a spring training game I was covering. And my boss that was with me, the sports director at the time, he says, hey, go get a quick interview with Chuck Mangione. He must be a baseball fan. Yeah. At spring training, everything feels kind of loose and casual.
Yeah.
So I walked down to where he was and said, could you do a quick interview? And he says, why should I? I said, well,
Why should I?
I said, it'd be good. He goes, it'd be good for you, not for me. I said, okay, never mind.
Never mind. I'll
play your trumpet in peace. Tuck my tail between my legs and went back up.
Trumpet in peace.
That's what I say. What Jay Sr. used to say? He would just say, indeed, indeed.
That was his question.
That's once they agreed to the interview, they knew they were going to get hit with the hard stuff. The first question would be, indeed, indeed.
And then they would just go.
And you go from there.
Yeah.
We'll take it from there.
Some people can get away with that. Mm-hmm. Boy, I never could.
I don't know what the lifetime roofing lead is on a day like today, Doug.
Well, here's from the millennial. Why aren't you talking sports? I don't have a job, but I'm more professional. Bring back Tim, the millennial.
That might be the
Leave us alone.
Text of the year.
I don't have a job, but I'm more professional.
Yeah.
Well, we'll talk some sports. What is that lifetime roofing lead, Doug? What do you think? Do you tell me, since the millennial who doesn't have a job wants us to be professional?
It's hard to lead with a Cardinal day off, so I guess we lead with the Spurs taking it to the Thunder.
No.
Game 7.
No.
I can't imagine what else is out there.
All right, now I'm going to say
Give me a D.
Where's Tim?
U, G, Doug. Good call.
Nothing beats a Game 7, Doug. And now we'll have one Saturday night in Oklahoma City.
A lot of these NBA playoff games in the final haven't even been close.
Yeah, this has been a good series, but there's been a couple games that get a little lopsided.
Yeah.
But when you got a guy like Victor Wembanyama, things can get a little crazy. He's really, really good.
If you could pick a team, a starting five of anybody in the NBA right now, would he be your first pick?
Yeah, probably. Probably just because he's so unique. SGA has won back-to-back MVPs, but there's a lot of guys at his position who the difference between them is a little bit smaller than like the next best big man behind Wemby. Like obviously Jokic is unbelievable, but Wemby at 7'4" doing what he does is pretty unfair.
Yeah, I remember the days if a guy was 6'4", you'd say, "Oh, he's pretty big. I wonder if he's going to be able to get around the court." We got guys a foot taller running around like point guards used to.
Yeah.
And is SGA now getting more dissected because he's getting more prominent?
It's been about a year and a half of this.
So they say he's begging for calls, which is what Chops Ritter used to do at 6 a.m. on my drive in. Hey, Cards Cubs weekend, 969, call in.
They would call him, they'd call him a free throw merchant. They would call him a flopper. They would, I get where people are coming from with it. I think he's also just unbelievably good at seeking contact and using that to his advantage. But yeah, he absolutely thrives at the free throw line.
A free throw merchant.
Yeah. That's what
that would imply that he's selling free throws.
I know. It's bad grammar, but it's been this thing. I think it really started in soccer where people would call like Cristiano Ronaldo a penalty kick merchant or a diver.
Stop talking about the NBA. You got 4 hours. You have to be joking. And Doug, when they're serious, they put it in all caps.
I see. Yeah, they're yelling.
That's from Steven time, of the brothers' time. There's Ed and there's Steven. And are we sure that they're related?
I think
so. Is that just assumed?
How many guys' last name Time do you know?
Morris Day had the time.
Father Time.
There's Father Time.
Yeah.
Martin, I'm sure that story will be funnier when Bob tells it to us.
Oh.
And that's the plan. I'm not stealing his thunder.
Bob Costas, 8:30. Callier and Thompson phone line.
8:30. And then Will Saulsbery wrote a book called The 50 Forgotten Cardinals. And it's an interesting collection. Ozzie Canseco was a Cardinal. Doug, you might have covered him. It was brief. It's just a random list of names that you'd forgotten about. Some were more significant than others. I think Ryan Ludwig's even in there, but there's some really old school names back in the early days. But I love the fact he wanted somebody Cardinal related to write the forward, and he got in touch with LaRussa, and LaRussa at first was a little gruff about the topic.
No.
And then said,
thinking he was going to make fun of
he said, you make fun of these guys? You try to make fun of these guys play ball, professional ball? And he's like, no. It's an homage. In fact, I've reached out, and Ozzy can take on that. We've been talking, and okay. And I think Costas may have written the forward as well. So he's going to swing by. It's a friend of the show Friday, Doug. So,
I remember when they had Ozzy Canseco and they had Fred McGriff's brother, too. The Cardinals had both of those guys.
I don't remember that. Fred McGriff had a brother that played baseball?
Yeah, and the Cardinals, we had the wrong McGriff and the wrong Canseco because both those guys were in their prime at the time.
And Fred McGriff was Crime Dog?
He was, yeah. Good player.
Friends of the show can be a part of it by texting in. Many have already chosen to do so. It's the Air Comfort Service text inbox. The Michelob Ultra YouTube chat. Now, in defense of Papers, it's to his back. And to me, it's to my hard right.
Yeah, I guess I could have it up on my laptop.
Eli Marrero was written in there. There was an R.I.P. Bob Horner. He died the other day. Remember when they signed him, Doug?
Oh,
he was going to be
I didn't
the
see that he
answer.
died.
Yeah, he died at 68. Big slugging fellow that just didn't quite work out.
Yeah, the Cardinals signed him as a free agent right after trading Jack Clark, right?
Yeah.
I thought this will be the replacement for Jack Clark. That didn't work out.
Guys, go back to talking about the NBA. That's from the amateur proctologist.
Okay.
You don't need to ask me twice.
Can we not talk about MLS, World Cup, breaking news? There's a lot not going on.
Yeah, I was going to say.
From Big Blonde Dan.
What World Cup topics you got?
Why don't you tell us what the lead is? This is a movie phone Friday.
The World Cup doesn't start for 2 weeks.
You do have the Cards-Cubs this weekend. Don't forget, tonight's game is earlier. That caught a lot of folks off guard because they have a concert. Jordan
Davis?
Clarkson, Jordan Davis is performing.
Not NBA Sixth Man of the Year candidate.
He will not be performing.
I would love to. I would be there if it was Jordan.
What would he do? He would sing?
I would just stand there and answer questions about, Frank Haith era Missouri teams.
So there's a concert tonight. Therefore, it's an earlier start, 6:15. They're all roughly in the 6 o'clock range, all three. Night games, that Shoto Imanaga's on the mound. The Cubs did win the last two in Pittsburgh, so they went from losing 10 in a row to winning 2 in a row. And tonight you got Andre Palante against Shota Imanaga. Doug, in his last 2 outings, he's given up a combined 15 earned runs.
Oh, good.
15 earned
Cardinals
runs.
could use some batting practice.
A lot of strikeouts on that Imanaga, though. 67 Ks so far this year.
You like a good split? You like the pitching splits? Doug, you like the splits?
You might have clipped that off.
You like a good split.
Shoto Imanaga versus Cardinals. Most at-bats against him. Mason Wynn has 12 at-bats. He's 4 for 12. There you go, Doug.
Okay, get him in the lineup.
Are you concerned Alec Burleson's only 1 for 8, lefty-lefty? Are you going to sit him because he's 1 for 8?
No, he's got to play every game. I'm impressed with what a good first baseman Burleson is.
Yeah.
Because when he came up, I think he was pretty much just an outfielder. And he's really slick over there at first base. He's really quite good.
Well, the play the other day that kept the no-hitter intact when Mason Wynn went up the middle to his left, made a great play, and really the headline, wow, Wynn keeps the no-hitter intact. Mm-hmm. And it happens all the time, but you look at the first baseman, he made a hell of a scoop.
Oh, yeah, on a short hop.
I wonder if they're annoyed there that they don't quite get the credit.
Yeah.
But you can text in, you can call in. I don't know who will answer the phones.
If I see it, I'll answer.
Also, I wouldn't touch anything in the studio because it's frozen in here. If you touch the countertop, you will get hypothermia. So careful what you touch, Papers. But you can phone in. We have the Collier and Thompson phone lines. We have that Mick Ultra YouTube chat. And if you want to phone in, Jackson, those phone numbers are well known to people who have been part of this show for a long time. I just happen to be new.
314-974-0101. Collier and Thompson phone line.
The Polos Plus dossier, brought to you by PolosPlus.com. We are in the 7 o'clock hour, the Healthcare Evolution 7 o'clock hour, which is doing wonders with Jackson's hair. He showed me a little before and after the scalp shot from like a Google Chrome or wherever they took it from up high, Google Maps.
Yeah, there was a drone shot.
Drone shot.
It was a drone shot in my head. Yeah,
Significant difference.
Logan from Healthcare Evolution reached out to me yesterday. Said he got some calls about people wanting to do some of the stuff that I was doing. I'll tell you again. It's real simple. Major difference in especially like around my scalp area and everywhere. My hair just feels much more full. And 2 really simple treatments done here in St. Louis. First one took about 15 minutes. Second one that I did on Tuesday took legit 5 minutes. Very, very easy, non-invasive at all. You know, you do it just in a normal doctor's office, and it's been really, really effective. It's only been a couple of months. You know, I'm really excited to see how the progress continues. So talk to our friends over at Healthcare Evolution and see if it's right for you, you know, just a little consult. And then if it is right for you, it could be, you know, what you've been looking for. I know a lot of people out there looking for hair solutions. They don't know what to do. Healthcare Evolution. Here's Tim talking about Healthcare Evolution right now.
My friends at Healthcare Evolution, the 7 o'clock hour sponsor, the ones that helped me with my shoulder when I had a slap tear, are ready to help you. They give those of us with nagging pain and injuries real answers and same-day pain relief. No emergency room, no wait-and-see approach. Healthcare Evolution will give you options prior to having surgery you don't want to have. Right now, Healthcare Evolution is offering you a free consultation over the phone. This free consultation will allow you to tell them what's going on with your pain, see if what they offer is a good fit, and discuss the costs that may be associated with your treatment. If you prefer in person, Healthcare Evolution will give you a huge discount. This offer is just $200. The original cost is $700. In person, Healthcare Evolution can review any previous imaging you have, do a hands-on assessment, and follow it up with diagnostic ultrasound imaging. Visit healthcare-evolution.com for the answer to most of your medical issues. Free phone consultation or significantly reduced in-person consultation. And don't forget, the month of May, 10% off all knee issues. Healthcare-evolution.com.
Jackie P, don't get me wrong. I have phenomenal hair, but where can I see this before and after? That's from Big Blonde Dan.
If you look on Wednesdays, if you go back to Wednesday's YouTube stream, Tim put the images up.
Oh, he did?
The camera in the first segment, the very first segment.
Maybe we need to take new pictures and put them on the TMA fan page.
No, thank you.
Oh, gosh.
No,
there has to be some boundaries for your personal.
Well, I think healthcareevolution.com will be having the pictures up there as well. So I don't necessarily need Tom, Dick, and Harry to tell me
because you already
doesn't look that good if you ask me.
Oh,
well,
gross head.
Well, Jackson, your hair looks like you got it cut at the drive-through window. That's from Professor Roy Hinckley, and I don't know what that means.
I don't know what that means either.
I wonder if this hair treatment works for all ages, or if it's better if you're young, where the follicles haven't been dormant and dead for a long time.
I know I have a lot of friends who are in my boat, not necessarily, you know, and the risk of losing their hair in the next 5, even 10 years, but probably can see a little bit of hairline recession, see a little thinning in the crown, and it's better to get it earlier. And so I think, and it's a very affordable plan over there at Healthcare Evolution, especially when you compare it to some of the other hair treatment options you have out there. Would highly recommend.
Do you wonder why men evolved losing the hair on the top of their head? We don't really lose it anywhere else.
Yeah. In fact, we gain it as we grow older.
So why would it have been beneficial for cavemen to lose the hair on top of their head?
Good question, Doug. That actually is quite thought-provoking.
But you don't see a lot of bald cavemen, do you?
No, because they're dead before they go bald, probably.
They died so young?
Probably, yeah.
It's, according to a couple sources I'm reading here, it's kind of an evolutionary mystery.
Yeah, I would think, because there's no real benefit to it. And there's negatives to it.
Evolutionary biologists believe it evolved as a signaling trait, advertising social maturity, seniority, and wisdom in older males. Well, I'd like to push back on that.
Guys, the Battlehawks are playing for home field advantage tonight with Hakeem the Dream trying to break a UFL season catching yards record. What are we doing?
What are we doing?
That's from Total Power Washing, which, Jackson, you would say that's probably their actual business phone?
Likely. And once that comes in, I don't know how to change that. That's kind of, I get overridden. So apologies. Maybe use a different number.
I like a good power wash. Jackson's full quaff, smooth talking. I'm going to guess he doesn't spend any nights alone this week. And that's from Flip Wilson, who has got your back, buddy.
I love that Flip Wilson.
Do you?
Yeah, he used to come out to the golf tournaments. Good dude. We got a lot of good dudes.
No nights spent alone this week.
No nights Bent alone.
Texter said, "Where's Kurt?" Chairman Kurt.
Kurt's out of
He's in California.
Yeah, movie making movies.
Yeah, his buddy's doing some kind of documentary or something.
Yeah, I think
in
it's
wine country.
I think it's a short film that they're making, and Kurt's going out there to help.
Nice.
And happy for him, man. I've never been to that Northern California kind of Napa Sonoma area, but it's
beautiful.
on my list.
Beautiful.
Yeah, it seems sweet.
Guys, got a call in to tell you how to do your job. That's from the Millennial. Yes, please do.
Most of the calls are in that vein. Certainly the texts are.
Guys, I kind of like when Tim is gone because then we don't have to listen to Sharon yap. Now, wait a minute. That's not fair because Sharon politely texted in earlier. You guys are doing just fine without Tim. Happy Friday to all.
Well,
That's from
thank you, Sherry.
Sharon and Clayton.
That was a nice sentiment. Happy Friday to you.
Yeah, it was just more than pleasant.
Are you raising your voice at me?
I'm sorry?
It's been too long since we've heard from Mick. It's been too long since college basketball's been around.
His hair can't be great. He likes the NBA. I don't know how those two connect.
No. A lot of good hair in the NBA, though.
A lot of lousy haircuts in the NBA and college basketball. It's a rough era for haircuts. Oh, boy. Boy, you see some weird stuff.
Like Mark Davis of the Raiders, like bad cuts are just choices.
That's like...
haircuts that you don't like.
That's Caleb Grill from Missouri had a weird haircut 2 years ago. It was kind of like in between a mohawk and a mullet.
There's a lot of them with really goofy hair right now. Old guys, you kind of give them a pass. You know, who knows what's going on? Once you hit 70 or 80, who knows?
You just got a nice little haircut.
You're fighting for every follicle.
You got a nice haircut this week, didn't you?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it looks good.
Yeah, thank you.
Guys, if you talk soccer, 3/4 of your listeners are turning the station. That's from the Gray Summit Gray Goose Guzzler.
Some sort of threat?
Don't do it. Don't do it.
The latest World Cup news I saw was that because of the lack of funding for the Department of Homeland Security, the feds are now threatening to not have DHS there at international airports in the United States. They won't have the personnel to check for passports for people coming in for the World Cup. So there is some concern that foreign visitors will have a rough time if they can even get into the country if DHS is not funded by then.
I don't want to be a wet blanket, Doug. The World Cup is on Fox. Can't wait. It's going to be a lot of programming. Oh, I don't know. What do you call it? Like a snow day, Doug? A lot of shows are just going to get wiped away because Fox has got wall-to-wall soccer. And
oh, you hate that, don't you?
I'm here for it. No, it's all about the beautiful game. It's not about shows being canceled. Yeah, you want to do an extra show?
One of the best things about the fall was those late NFL games. Oh, we don't have an early newscast today? Great, I'll get into work a little later.
Give me Dolphins, Broncos all day. But it does seem like we're starting to now hear some of the negative of the World Cup. Like they're saying in Kansas City, they promised all these hotels, all this, and like people are canceling, and ticket prices are ridiculous. So
what's the group of death? Let's find. I'm going to work on that through the show. I'm going to find out which of these groups is the group of death. I'm looking right now at the England, Croatia, Ghana, Panama, Group L.
Group of death. Crump Daddy Delta says, guys, Tanner Tessman not making the World Cup roster. Not good. We don't have good midfield options after the starters go out. There you go. There's your. We just lost 3/4 of the audience right there.
And Sargent didn't make it either, right?
Correct. St. Louis's own. Tim Ream's on that squad.
Yeah.
Guys, friend of the show day, maybe Suppan on today to turn the table for the Cardinals. Wait, I'm a Cubs fan. Disregard this text. That's from Fastlane U, Phil. Yeah, Sup might reach out today.
He's always welcome. He's a friend. Was the show, Doug, where friends feel they can drop by?
At any time.
Yeah.
At absolutely any time.
Is Rex Hudler in there? That's a question for the author of the 50 Forgotten Cardinals. We'll get that answer for you on the polosplus.com dossier. Bob Costas, 8:30. He's going to be at Busch Stadium this weekend because NBC has the Sunday night game. And then on Monday, he's the guest speaker at the Missouri Golf Tournament, Mizzou Alumni Golf Tournament. We were featured. I guess they went, something similar. They had TMA. So TMA equals Bob, Doug. That's the way I'm equating that. We were the featured guest.
Yeah.
Now he's the featured guest. So it took 4 of us to equal one of him.
Yeah, maybe even more to equal Bob Costas. Might take a village.
Doug, we had Terry McGriff. I think he might have been Fred's cousin. Talking about Fred McGriff, the crime dog. That's from Uncle Wally's Plastic Ear.
I thought he was a brother, but related nonetheless.
Guys, you always have good guests when Tim is on vacation. Is that to make up for the fact that he's not there, so that'll carry the show? That's from Tim's Offshore Bookie.
I don't know if it's that deep.
Just sort of worked out.
You're an expert guest booker, Martin.
Expert guest booker.
Yeah, you got a lot of connections.
I brought Strick in yesterday. Everybody was concerned that he was on speed of some sort. He gets a little fired up.
Yeah, he does. I like when Andy gets all fired up. Strict nasty.
He likes to go in a lot of directions. Let's see. Oh,
he's made quite a niche for himself in this town.
Oh, absolutely.
As a hockey expert, he really has.
I've told the story, but it was probably 15 years ago. Whenever Tom Stillman was getting ready to buy the team, they had a press conference. We're sitting in the atrium there at 14th and Clark, and Gary Bettman walks in, and we're doing our, Doug, sometimes the old remote setups for sports radio, not real elaborate.
Oh, sure.
Kind of stuck over in a corner. And Gary Bettman walks in and goes, "Hey, Andy." And I said, "Holy smokes."
Well, you really have carved a niche, girl. I'm proud of you.
Well, no.
That was for a girl? What, did she have good feet? What was the origin of that drop?
I think you're probably spot on.
Guys, Bob Horner would be a good forgotten Cardinal. Somebody else suggests, Lisa said Cesar Cedeno. Boy, he was good for about,
both
2
those
months?
guys almost too good to be forgotten Cardinals.
Yeah.
Most people would remember them.
Guys, talk about Tim's golf round. That's from MD 2020.
We don't have that information. We didn't call him and get a shot-by-shot breakdown of his round yesterday.
Both of these kind of has a brand, Doug, where he talks about his wife who's gone. He even phoned in to share his dating adventures post-wife. Guys, my wife left me, but I still miss Tim way more than I miss her. That's from both of these. That's a lemming move. You can text in. Air Comfort Service text. Inbox, the Michelob Ultra YouTube chat. Let's see what they're saying. Vinny Favorito, now woke comedy. Iggy, you mixing it up with people is great radio. So Iggy gets a shout out.
I think Iggy might be in there.
Is Tim getting his leg extensions done?
Might be.
Oh.
That's from Ted Gann.
Well, you got to fly to China for that, right? So that's probably...
That would be a sabbatical situation.
So China for the legs, Turkey for the hair?
Yeah.
How did Turkey corner the market on hair?
I don't know. They do it really cheap.
Yeah.
I don't think you want cheap if they're messing with your scalp.
Relatively cheap. It's because it still costs. You got to get over there and this, that, the other.
There's
lodging.
not a chance in hell I'd go to Turkey to let a surgeon cut on my head.
I think the number one requirement would be, can we speak the same language while you're operating on my scalp?
I think they speak English over there.
All right. Now we're getting a lot of random Cardinals. Floyd Sugar Bear Rayford. Love Sugar Bear. About 83, 84.
How are you, honey?
Is there no place in America?
Did he say that to a guest?
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
To a guest. How are you, honey?
Is there no place in America you can go to have your legs extended?
Probably. Yeah, I think I was reading a lot of diaries on people who've done this, and there's like 1 or 2 guys in California that'll do it.
Well, why not go there as opposed to China?
Probably more expensive. The domestic
how much more expensive?
Listen, if you're
talking about a major ordeal to go to China,
if you're breaking your legs to have rods inserted in them, so you can become
you just probably saw them
4 inches taller. Either whatever they're doing, you are clearly No, I'm not trying to judge here, but you might not be of the most sound judgment.
Oh,
therefore. Like the idea of it was smarter to do it in America. I don't think it was smart in the first place.
Guys, Mexico is becoming in vogue for hair transplants as well. That's from Eric in the Central West End with an update on hair transplants.
That'd be better.
Papers told me to rap. I am not limping to any breaks today. I got scolded on air.
Yep.
Got sent to the principal's office. TMA brought to you by Brown and Crouppen. This is the Jordan Walker vehicle the chairman put together.
This song's really good.
It is.
Just pleasant.
Walker's currently tied for second in the National League with 15 homers, fifth in RBIs with 42.
What's Schwarber at now?
21.
Crowdsourcing. He was at 20 like 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
He kind of stalled out.
Have you seen what Christopher Sanchez is doing at the Phillies? He's got like 43 and 2/3 scoreless innings going.
Yeah. How about Murakami, the rookie for the White Sox?
The White Sox being good.
Yeah, 20 home runs for Murakami in his rookie year.
Who saw that coming?
Not I, said the fly.
And their team announcer had a nickname for him, and the team didn't care for it. I forget what it was now, but it was something, ethnic. And he was trying to have fun with it. He was trying to have fun with it, and they didn't think it was too cheeky. By the way, Jordan Walker on pace to hit 45 and drive in 126. Doug, he leads the Cardinals in average. He leads the Cardinals in hits, homers, RBIs, and runs. He does not lead the team in on-base percentage. Who do you think that would fall to?
Herrera?
Yes. Sorry, that was a tough quiz.
Southside Samurai, I believe, was the nickname.
Yeah, and which I didn't think was that bad.
I don't think it's terrible, but if
Shouldn't
he's
that
not
be up to him?
Yeah, if he's not into it,
Well,
then,
that's the first thing. Are you good with that?
right. Like I remember they kept trying to give Kevin Durant nicknames, and they started with Durantula because it was tall.
Yeah,
he didn't like that, but then they moved to Slim Reaper.
I like that too,
and he
That's
loved
better.
that.
Mm-hmm. Slim Reaper.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Somebody consistently texted in that they work for McGruff, the crime dog, and wanted to call in. Please give me the number.
What do you mean worked for the
McGruff? Not Fred McGriff, I guess.
Right, the actual crime dog.
They sent it like 5. What is the phone number? I'm new here. I'm sorry. I like how you have to turn and look too.
314-974-0101.
974-0101.
Yeah.
So whatever that means, I'm not entirely clear. 974-0101. Somebody else said if you want to fill 30 minutes, Martin, just start throwing to a break, which Papers scolded me yesterday. Said we limped to the breaks. Strick didn't help.
No.
Didn't help at all.
No, Strick actually made it much worse.
and then we had a network time killer when I was waiting for your coffee to finish. It was at the machine, and I couldn't get my coffee till yours finished, yet you had abandoned post.
I had.
Because you knew the show was coming back on the air. Friend of the show, Chris Tuno, Cardinals PR staff extraordinaire, yesterday had sent this text that said, Mike Shannon had a Keurig machine in Brian Bartow's office during spring training. And Shannon would always make a cup of coffee, leave the office, and never come back to it, and would just sit there in Brian's office all morning.
I bet Brian was too scared to
and I wrote back, and I said, and because it was Big Irish's coffee, nobody moves it.
Yeah.
So I guess
he might be back in 4 or 5 hours.
Where the hell did that coffee go? 5 hours later.
I was gonna nuke
Juno
that.
said for hours people would come into this bartender and say, "Is that your coffee?" Oh no, that's Mike's.
And because he might nuke it 3 hours later.
And I'm telling you, if he came back in 3 hours, where the hell did that coffee go? And you'd be in the wrong.
I love Mike Shannon.
The cat said he saw Mike Shannon walk into spring training locker room the first day, just strutting through the locker room saying, I'm going to need 5 hats, give me 6 T-shirts, I'm going to need a couple of bats and 15 balls.
Like Dangerfield and Caddyshack walk in the pro shop.
And everybody just scrambles to get it for him.
Oh, my God, the goat. Someone's calling.
Somebody, is it from the crime dog, McGruff? You can call into the show. We have the Friday edition here of TMA. We'll have drops of the week at some point, I believe. Is that on the dossier? I believe it would be. We'll get into the MLB players and owners going back and forth. Proposals, Doug. The latest proposal is that they're going to have a salary cap of $245 million, but also a floor of $171 million. And the Cardinals are currently, depends on if the money they're spending, but they're also paying other players to play elsewhere. The Cardinals are around 90 to 110 million, depending on which math you want to use, the money spent or the other players. Either way, they're about 60 to 70 million short of the floor. And it's pointed out, wait a minute, owners can afford, the Pirates right now, they can afford 170 million. Isn't that sort of a takeaway, Doug? I thought they were all crying poor here. So if the floor is going to be 171 million, who knew they had that kind of money to spend is sort of what I think the players' union is going to push back on. So you do have plenty of money.
That offer seems fair to me, doesn't it? That's a significant payroll,
Well,
171
the immediate
million.
response from the players' union was, will there be a cap on owners' profits? Or is there just a cap on the players? Yeah, the window itself seems reasonable. 245, you have roughly 25 players. That's a $10 million average. But it's not. We already know it's not going to happen.
I'm unsure what kind of profits there really are year to year. If the teams make a lot of money year to year, or if the owners just cash out when they ultimately sell the teams. I know there's a lot of teams in professional sports that don't necessarily make tens of millions of dollars every year.
And Bill DeWitt Jr., the team owner, said that to Frank, remember a couple of years ago? On 590, said it's not all that profitable compared to other lines of work or other businesses, and just got skewered for that. But I think you're right. A lot of it is in the value of the team. I had Dr. Chaffetz on TV. He bought into the San Francisco Giants. At what level? I don't know. He also bought in to the Portland Trail Blazers. And he said, I know for a fact in the next 10 years, both will go up, probably exorbitantly, like the value of each team. And an NBA franchise right now, if you're Seattle, Vegas, they're going to pay about $8 to $10 billion for an expansion team. So the money's there. You're right. If you're the Pittsburgh Pirates, if you own the Pirates and your team sucks, and let's say you break even or you make a little bit of money because they give you a little revenue share at the end of the year, no matter what, the value of your franchise is going up. But I do think that's notable if the floor, and this would kick in 2027, what was proposed by the owners, the floor, the minimum you could spend as a team would be $171 million. That tells you that teams can afford that starting next year. Well, how can they afford that? I thought they were all poor.
Well, or at least it tells you that teams should be able to afford that. There could be some owners that are going to say, I'm out at that rate. I can't do that. There could be some.
So I guess, is there a penalty then for the floor? They talked about splitting revenue 50-50. So this is the first, I would say, public exchange of ideas, right? Back and forth. But immediately you notice that it's not well received, and all of a sudden here we go again with players and owners. But at least they're talking, Doug.
Yeah.
I think Ken Rosenthal talked about this in terms of the CBA negotiations. This is the first round here. It is late May. They've got until December to kind of iron this out.
We can all agree the revenue disparity in this sport is too much, and it needs to be a situation where there is some compression. The question is how to get there. And to me, if you're introducing a salary cap that is going to cause a work stoppage that might eat into part or all of the 2027 season, not a good answer. A good answer would be somewhere where you address these issues through greater revenue sharing, all kinds of ways, without the ultimate end being a lockout that eats into the season. That, to me, is not a good outcome for a sport that is riding high, thanks in a large part to what the commissioner has done in recent years. So there's a lot of good happening in the game. My concern is that if this gets really ugly, then you'll be jeopardizing all of that good.
And it's a great point. And I don't know if there's any way, if you get closer to the deadline and they can't agree, can you roll it over and say, let's just buy it, let's just keep things at, can we just do a 1-year extension of what we have while we continue to work it out?
If they agree to it, sure.
Just say, we're not doing any kind of long, we can't agree, so let's keep status quo for a year and continue to talk.
Yeah.
Because ratings are up, attendance is up, so it does seem like baseball is having a little mini resurgence here, and it's an obvious but also a good point. You're going to throw all that goodwill away once you lock everybody out. And I just can't believe that the owners would be comfortable with that.
No, I don't think they want that. It seems to me it might be a good idea for the owners to offer a significantly higher minimum salary. Right now, I believe it's $750.
And that was a request. I think the players said make it like $1.5 million or something.
I think that might be a good idea, because if you've got a salary cap, what do you care if the guys at the bottom are making more than they used to if you got to get under the cap anyway? And I think there's a whole lot more people making, at least certainly on teams like the Cardinals, making close to that minimum than the outrageous salaries. You might get a lot more player votes from those people in the union saying, sure, this sounds like a good deal, I'll vote for that. And you're rewarding people if you just make it for a little while. You're going to get a really nice payday. You're going to get life-changing money. I would worry more about those guys than the guys who've been in the league 12 years, and they're arguing whether they should make $30 million or $40 million. Those lives have already been improved forever, and their kids, their grandkids, everybody's taken care of forever. Why not take more care of the guys struggling just to get in, and there's a huge reward if you just make it at all.
And I guess this would fall under logistics, Doug, but I don't know the answer because the players' union always responds, the MLBPA, and says, no dice, not acceptable.
Mm-hmm.
At what point does the proposal, and could the owner say, all right, let's put it to a vote? Because if it's a secret ballot and if you're in that room, all these Cardinals that are making the minimum, and they say immediately next year, the minimum goes to $1.5 million. They might have, I'm checking that box. You're right that they might be able to win at the ballot box.
Yeah.
And I don't know the answer to that.
I don't know how many players there are in the major leagues making the minimum or close to it, but I would hazard a guess it's got to be 30 to 40% or so.
And it'd be hard not to vote for that immediate raise for yourself where you double your salary.
Yeah.
The players, though, don't like it, including former players. Hats on backwards, I guess. A.J. Brzezinski, former Cardinal, forgotten Cardinal, and Eric Kratz.
But they don't have money. They can't afford. But the $99 million Marlins can't afford, barely survive David Sampson and all his crap he just spewed about how we can't afford it. But now all of a sudden every team can afford 171. Come on, man. This is some bull crap, man. I'm sorry.
But this is the whole point.
I know he just spewed for 20 minutes about how him and the Marlins couldn't afford, to keep the team around and this and that. They had the money to pay him the contracts originally. And now that the players went at 150, and now the owners say 171, and 240 is the cap now, hard cap. Like, come on, this is why this negotiations take so long. This is kind of ridiculous. I'm not going to say just from the owner, kind of from both sides, but this is kind of ridiculous.
The funny thing is, though, if the teams can't afford that kind of money, then what do? You share it. It's the whole answer to everything. All you have to do is figure out how they're splitting.
It's an owner versus owner fight. It's an owner versus owner fight. That's what it is.
That's the whole name of the game. That's it.
Here, guys, we'll help you. We'll help you. This is Stevie Cohen. Stevie Cohen. This is Hal Steinbrenner. Hal Steinbrenner. This is Tom Ricketts. And you guys meet together, and you guys talk about how you have the majority of the money. The other teams want it. If you truly, as Major League Baseball, want competitive balance and a fair fight for each season, you're going to have to give some of this money up. Well, I'm not giving it up. How about you? Are you giving it up? Nope. We already give them a lot. We have to give them more? Wait a minute. How's that going to happen? Oh, just give them more because, okay, well, then let's get a floor. You guys have to spend every penny on payroll. To me, that's where the answer is. Not, because we bought 2 Traject machines, that's $1 million for our Dominican Academy. Oh, we just built a new Dominican Academy that's $30 million. Well, we spent 30 of the Yankees' money that they gave to us, the Pirates.
And that's something we've all complained about for a while. The revenue sharing was not working the way they intended it. Yeah. Pirates take that check, either walk away as a profitable team with a last place finish, or put it into other avenues like that you're mentioning. Guys, the floor offers a good start. Obviously, the cap, it's a hard no for the players, but there's always a number that makes sense to give it up. Are you okay, Papers?
Papers almost fell off his chair.
Thank God the camera was off. The back of this chair is loose, so it's just stuck. So if I lean back too hard, I fall, and I almost kicked, not only fell flat on my ass there, but then almost kicked my laptop up in the air, like a bicycle kick. A Zlatan Ibrahimovic.
It had shades of opening day 2025 when Tim
fell through the table.
Yes, the table collapsed on him, adding to the need for leg surgery. Doug Glad says, hey, great idea, Doug. Definitely something that Tim would have thought of.
Oh. I mean, hit the gong. What are we doing?
Backhanded compliment.
Yeah. Is Doug about to fall backwards? He didn't even reach for the gong.
Yeah, seriously. Sleep with the switches over there.
The notion that the owners can all afford $170 million, maybe that's true, but should an owner necessarily be held to the fact that he's got to cough up every penny he's got or close to it just to reach a certain threshold? I mean, a lot of us have bosses that could afford to pay us more, but they don't necessarily have to, or why should they give up everything that they have? You know what I'm saying there? Just because you can afford it doesn't mean that you should be required to give it all up.
Well, and I've said this before, if you got a bottom line, and nobody believes the books, that's part of the problem. They think the owners have been lying. Somebody pointed that out on the text line. There's a lot of history here where the owners have lied to the players. But if at the end of the year they said the Yankees' profit was $60 million, the Cardinals' profit was $30 million, people would be like, oh, see, those slime balls have been lying all along. And a team making $30 million can really trigger folks. A player making $30 million that hits 200. If Arenado gets paid $30 million and he misses 50 games, oh, that just happens.
No one thinks a thing of it.
That's the part of it.
But you sign a contract, you provide the service, and they provide the money. And that's
for sure. But I'm saying nobody seems outraged for the most part. If Kyle Tucker gets $60 million and doesn't hit, but if a team makes $60 million, oh, what are you doing with all that money?
Right. Well, if you're not winning, if you don't make the playoffs, but it comes out that you made $35 million, and I don't, right or wrong, people would be upset by that. But a player who signs a contract saying, I will provide these services, and you will pay me this, that's just a contract, you know? So I see where you're coming from. I see what you're saying there.
I'm just in terms of...
Yeah, it does seem...
People's feel for it or their emotions that are attached
Nearly
to
every successful business makes a bigger profit than what their payroll is.
Right.
So why is it necessary for Major League owners to give up every last cent of their profit to turn that into payroll?
I think it's, if you're like a Pirates fan and it's just been year after year after year of not making the playoffs, not even being relevant, and it's like, you know, at a certain point, you're like profiting off the fans but not giving anything in return. You know, and it's not, there's no sort of contract between the fans and the ownership that there needs to be winning on the field, but there is some sort of like good faith where it's like, we are going to try our hardest to win. And when you put out teams like the Pirates have put out for so many years, it's evident you are not really trying that hard to win. And the way you try to win is by spending money.
Yeah.
And if you're not spending enough money, it's like, why am I going to keep coming to the ballpark? And that's what I think Major League Baseball is very concerned about.
They're probably not spending because that particular owner doesn't have enough to keep up with the Dodgers and the Mets and the Cubs. And
that's where the players would say, all right, show us your cards.
Get a different owner.
Or show us your cards and really show us the books and tell us, okay, you're telling me you can't afford this. All right, if we made the cap here or the floor here, can you do it?
I know a guy who works in accounting for one of Kroenke's teams in Colorado, in accounting. And he told me that the teams, they don't really make much year-to-year profit. It's just the growing value of the team over the years.
Right.
That's where the money is.
Right.
Guys, as a former franchise owner myself, there were requirements and standards expected to maintain the brand. To be honest, I don't think the Pirates are helping with the MLB brand. Everybody should be forced to abide by standards and rules that collectively make the league better. I think that's a great point, that the owners... And this is where I think it gets messy, is the owners are not aligned.
Yeah.
The players are clearly aligned, at least at the high end, the union, in turning things down. But the owners, okay, the Mets are like, we'll just spend whatever we want. And the Cardinals might say, well, we're kind of in the middle. We want to be reasonable. We don't want to go broke, but we don't want to have a crappy team.
Spend money efficiently. And
then they have this revenue share, and the Pirates are like, oh, we get a check? Yeah. Right, we'll take the check.
Yeah,
thank you.
Great, yeah. And here's some young prospects who will eventually be wearing pinstripes or Dodger blue.
That was from St. Louis City, Kevin. A lot of text coming in. Air covered service text inbox. Don't all the fans know that if you raise the floor and payroll, you're also going to raise your ticket prices? Owners aren't stupid. They're not going to give up their profits. They're going to make it in another way. That's the other side of the story. So if a team says that's a stretch for us to get to $170 million, the hot dog probably does cost more.
But then an argument could be made down the line that if there's more competitive balance, the sport could become like more fans will be watching because more teams will be in it, more teams will be competitive, more markets will be competitive. Therefore, the next media deal could be higher. I mean, this is obviously...
And revenue sharing is a big part of this, too, where they say, hey, let's grow the game. Let's have this massive pile like they do in the NFL or the NBA.
And media deals take a long time. It's not like this is like an overnight thing. An overnight thing would be ticket prices rising. That would be a short-term negative for the fans, but could overall be a long-term positive if the game gets more eyeballs on it.
Well, what about the teams whose payroll exceeds the cap at $245 million? It's been suggested. They would have to lower their spending. Would that lower the price of hot dogs and tickets? That's
doubtful.
never going to happen.
No, the prices seldom go down, but I know that there's still some confusion around deferred money and how that would work, because obviously right now, like the Dodgers, deferred money is so great that would that say under the cap? Would they eventually get hit on that? Obviously, they middle it because like Shohei Ohtani gets paid very little per year as of right now, but his hit on the cap or the luxury tax is different.
The ignorance shown for people that they don't understand how a business is run. It would be fun to see P&L sheet on a team, Uncle BK. Guys, why the owners expected by the players to share the profits? Do the players understand that the owners have financial risk? Players do not. Players don't have to mortgage other assets to risk for potential gain. And that's sort of what Doug was saying. The argument, I think, is we are the product. Right. Yeah, you own it, but you have nothing. You will make nothing without us.
Yeah, right.
That's the constant back and forth.
If you're the Brewers owner, it's like, yes, you are taking the risk. You have all the money. But if you don't like the player, it's like Mizorowski would be like, okay, you throw 104 miles an hour on the mound. Can you do that? You cannot. So that's why I'm here. You know, everyone has their roles to play. The owners take the financial risk and also reap the benefits when they sell the team. Mizorowski throws 104 miles an hour, gets paid a lot of money eventually.
You would think they could work this out, and everybody still come away very rich.
Yes. Likely that will be the outcome, I think.
But Starvin Marvin not have Martin, they would get revenue sharing. They do not have that money today. But the money's there in the game. They're saying if they spread it out, the money. Holy bleep. Every other league has a floor and a cap. It's not that complicated. That's also from Starvin Marvin. He's had enough. He's had enough. Paper's had enough. He almost fell out of his chair.
I did. I almost died.
Was that because you were ready to rap me? A violent rap?
That's my new tactic is I'm going to
pratfall?
Throw. Like Chevy Chase.
How about a spit take?
Yeah.
When it's time for a break, Doug, Jackson does a spit take.
I'm going to throw myself off the console
That'll be the
here.
subtle little sign we'll try to pick up on it.
Team A brought to you by Brown & Crouppen, a local law firm. Also, the 7 o'clock hour brought to you by Healthcare Evolution. You can always fire off an email for us. We get to that later, the Design Air email of the day. And don't forget, on Monday, you can start the name change papers. Monday, June 1st.
Monday, yep. We're
a nice, clean
changing
start
names
to the month.
Here on the Morning After, and that's presented to you by Brown & Crouppen. Oh, is that Tim?
Brown & Crouppen is the presenting sponsor of the Morning After, and we ask that you support the sponsors. That's what it's all about. And Brown & Crouppen is committed to the St. Louis community. They are local, founded here in 1979 and serving the St. Louis area now for more than 45 years. To the insurance company, you're just a claim number. To your team at Brown & Crouppen, you're a person with a name that Brown & Crouppen cares about and will fight for. Don't you want a local law firm, one that knows how to handle the big national insurance companies and the local courts? Plus, they know the best places in the area to grab a bite to eat. Superior legal services and valued client service as well. Brown & Crouppen is a part of the St. Louis community. They really value it. After an accident, money's tight. That's why they offer so much for free. At Brown & Crouppen, it won't cost too much because they don't get paid unless you get paid. If you think you may need Brown & Crouppen services, call 314-222-2222 or go to getbc.com. Make sure you let them know you heard about them on TMA. Remember, the choice of a lawyer is an important decision. It should not be based solely on advertisements. Past results are no guarantee of future results, and every case is different and must be judged on its own accord.
Damn it, I thought that was Tim calling in. That's from Jugs in D.C., Mr. Licks. Yes, finally Tim's live reads. Please play it a couple times in a row, Jackson. And then Lisa says, great segment, guys. Thanks, Lisa.
Oh, a gem, as always. Yeah.
Caller Ellen's a delight, and Lisa's a gem.
Yeah, an Edwardsville gem.
Indeed, indeed.
Indeed, indeed.
It is TMA, brought to you by Brown & Crouppen right here on 101 ESPN. Oh, we like sketches and bits. We like props. And what am I holding, Jackson, in my hand? I've got a menu, a drink menu for the Village Bar.
Yeah, laminated.
I was up there talking to Mark Disper the other day, and he said, you know, I love when you mention Red Barn vodka, especially summertime. People are having a party out back, doing something fun, kind of festive. Mix it up, get some of those different flavored Red Barn vodkas. Try the grape vodka, a little lemon or a lime.
Can I get an Arnold Palmer?
You can get an Arnold Palmer,
Okay,
Doug.
yes, please.
And then get a John Daly. Spike it with a little Red Barn vodka there. They have their own TVB, the Village Bar, the Old Fashioned, the Village Bar Manhattan, the Red Barn Vodka Sour, the Village Bar Mule, all listed there. So when you're up there checking out the cheeseburgers and the fries and just hang with your friends at Village Bar, order one of the 1879 distilling products like Red Barn Vodka. So many great options on their drink menu. I'm holding it here, prop in hand. You can find out more at 1879distilling.com. And on Saturdays, that tasting room is open. That's such a cool spot. It's a really old-fashioned bar that's been redone, connected to the Village Bar on the east end there, the blue building, the general store. Open on Saturdays where you can sample the products and also buy some merchandise right there, get some swag. The Village Bar, 1879 hats, shirts, you name it, all right there. It's worth checking out. They've got the umbrellas out front. Such a cool little hangout there. Check out the general store. The tasting room open Saturdays, noon to 5 at the Village Bar.
This is Jackson with a Sports Center update. That's brought to you by Universal Windows Direct. Cardinals, Cubs, tonight at Busch Stadium, 6:15, first pitch. Andre Palante toeing the slab for the Redbirds. That was another Sports Center update brought to you by Universal Windows Direct. You'll be saying, I love my windows.
Didn't Strickland say the Blues will win the Cup in the next 5 years?
Correct.
Hot take.
It's in Predictionary.
You put it in there?
Oh, yeah.
Strick Nasty came in and said they'll win it in the next 5 years. Do we have a Cardinal World Series next championship? Doug, in the next 10 years, is there going to be a Cardinals parade down market?
10 years? Well, history would tell you over a 10-year period, probably. Probably, yes.
Would they go 25, the gap from the 67 title to the 82 title?
Yeah.
Then you went 24 to the next one, 06. So we're 15 in, so we're 9 away.
Yeah, maybe it's more like 15 years would be the average. So
only went 5 between 06 and 11. Yeah. Boston, they win a championship in some sport every other year. Is that the thing?
It's already been 15 years now. So if it's another 10 years, that would be a long dry patch for the Cardinals. 25 years, that'd be a long time to go.
Well, maybe if they call up Joshua Baez or others, Doug, then they would be on their way to a World Series this year. Chaim Bloom sat down with Corey Miller of the 5 Fox and talked about a number of the prospects. I think Chaim will also be a guest on the Red Zone Papers. Are you going to the game Saturday? Or are you going to be watching the 2 Fox?
I'd love to go to the game Saturday.
Dan Janson, call in. Papers would like to go to the
fresh out of Ducats.
A little pricey online, too.
Looks like Baez hit another home run last night. It's 16 now. Up to 16 home runs.
I was going to give you
39 ribbies.
Let's see.
Am I playing this Chaim Bloom audio?
Well, I'm sorry. We're talking tickets. I wanted to give you an update. So, estimated this weekend, a little over 38,000 tickets sold for tonight.
Oh, wow.
40,000-ish sold for Saturday. 35,000-ish sold for Sunday. And it seems that Saturday has been the biggest number, sometimes on a Sunday.
I feel like
but a lot of out-of-town people go to the Saturday game.
Sure, because then
makes sense.
It's Saturday night game, too, so you can even leave Saturday morning if you wanted to.
Drive over, hit the game, stick around.
Yeah, if it was a Sunday day game, that would probably make more sense for them, too.
Yeah, Sunday night game effect. So it looks like, but anyway, crowds pushing 40 all weekend long. If you got tickets, Papers will take them. That's for the Saturday game. But if not, you can watch the Red Zone at 5:30 on the 2 Fox because Chaim Bloom is going to be a guest. And it looks like I got cucked by Corey because he's got some of these same topics here, including Joshua Baez.
Yeah, again, special kid, just special person. Not an accident that he overcame some of those early career struggles to get to be on the radar to this point at AAA. The power is going to play. It's really about getting his swing, his approach to a point where he can have success against both sides. To where he can get to that power routinely at the big league level. And that's a process. I mean, you see the power at AAA. You also see there's still some things he needs to work on in terms of swing and miss, in terms of that offensive game. But, he's on his way, and he's the type of guy who is going to put in the work.
Last 3 games for Baez, 5 home runs, 10 RBIs. He's red hot at the moment.
Turns 23 about a month from now in June.
Yeah.
So not 19, not 20, but we mentioned him the other day, and immediately the texter said, remember what they did with Walker? He got up there too soon. In fact, the other way to look at it, though, is Walker was really young, and these two are pretty similar in age, right?
Yeah, Baez 22, I think I'm seeing.
And he turns 23 next month.
Yeah.
So not that far apart in age, but the point was you can't ruin these guys. But I would argue the Cardinals had Walker here and probably could have. They ruined him less if they didn't jerk him around.
Yeah, but would this be an example of us talking out both sides of our mouth? Because we're talking about how much we want to see Baez and Blaze Jordan up here, and then at the same time saying, well, they probably brought Jordan Walker up too early. But if they didn't bring Jordan Walker up when they did, people would have been really upset because he had been crushing it. I mean, he had been by far the best player at spring training.
But you don't do it just because people are begging for it or guys like us are saying it's time.
Right, yeah.
But you don't give in to the noise.
Yeah, it's obviously case by case, and they have more information than we do.
But you do wonder, okay, he's a year younger than Walker. Walker's been here for, 3 or 4 years at this point?
Yeah.
But Baez will be 23
next month
in June.
And Walker's currently 23.
A lot of times, the premier players in the league, they're ready to go at 23.
Well, that's what I'm wondering, yes, because he's not 21, he's not 20 or 19. Also, Corey talked about other prospects in the line. What Jimmy Crooks, Doug? What's he? 25, maybe? He's sort of just stuck down there in Memphis.
I know he squats post dish.
He does a lot.
And we're looking for 9 catchers. Is the number we're trying to get to?
Yeah. I don't see why not.
Chaim Bloom referring or asked about Jimmy Crooks.
Final guy, if he didn't play catcher, Jimmy Crooks might already be up here, probably would be. There's a lot of great catchers in this organization. What more can he do to prove he belongs here?
Yeah, we're blessed with, it's, again, one of those things that's a really good problem to have, that we have a ton of catching talent in the organization. You know, his time's coming. He's made a lot of progress this year, obviously with the bat. You know, still want to make sure the approach, the swing and miss, continues to trend in the right direction. It has been since the start of the season. But what people don't see is the leadership and the defensive progress. You know, we know what the standard is in this organization to go back there. And he's shown the ability now to understand a game plan, understand leading a group of pitchers, and that's equally as exciting as the progress he's made offensively.
Well, that's good. He'll be 25 in July.
That's Jimmy Crooks.
Yeah. Crooks. And I'd say it's time at 25. I mean, your prime year is supposed to be 27, right? That 26, 27, 28 span. So if not now, what exactly are they waiting for? Well, I'll answer that myself.
Well,
I don't think they're...
I thought you were doing.
They must not be.
I thought you were doing the thing where you ask a question and then you answer it yourself.
I guess I'm going to.
Well, like a self-alley-oop.
Yeah. Chaim Bloom talked about his defense improving. It must be that it's still not to the level where they think that he's going to be a quality defensive major league catcher. Otherwise, you don't leave catchers in AAA tearing it up offensively while your major league catchers aren't hitting much.
And that's the problem with the on-camera interview that we all, or soundbite that we get over the phone, or an interview that you get. They're not going to say, you should see his base running. It's horrific.
Yeah.
Or he's a butcher in left field. Like the issue, I mean, whatever the issues are for any given player, you don't get that part of it. But it does feel like we got some guys who are clearly knocking on the door. And as mentioned many times on this show, the lineup after the top four is a little less than robust.
Yeah.
Hey, guys, when does Baez turn 23? I think we may have mentioned it.
I believe that's next month.
I think they were making fun of us. That's Iggy's great brother.
Okay.
Does Iggy have a great brother? That's
I don't know. Baez is another big guy. 6'3", 220.
And he steals bases.
Yeah.
Guys, they're waiting for the end of the CBA negotiations, and that was referenced also on the show, that they don't want to bring players up because once the lockup begins, then those players are locked out. But you can't do that with all of them. You can't look at the entire minor leagues and say, nope, nobody can be called up.
Well, at some point, it's likely that somebody's going to get banged up, and you're going to need another body.
And they're probably thinking that.
It already happened with Torres coming in for Church. And we saw that Torres, he looks very comfortable at the plate. He looks like a real hitter.
I think the player that would be an easy call-up would be Velasquez, because right now you have Torres, Sajaci, Prieto. I think I get confused.
It's not the 40-man, though.
Okay, well, I found a spot.
I don't care. Someone's got to get DFA'd.
We'll cut somebody's ass.
But I agree.
Because I told Ollie this on opening day. I said, this is Martin on the radio on Tuesday. We don't need Fermin. What are we doing here? What's the point? Martin on Wednesday. Hey, Jose, how are you, bud? You got a second?
Yeah, right.
Hey, congrats on making the team.
Part of the business. I agree. Velasquez is older. He's 27. He's already played in the majors. If you're concerned as a lockout and working with guys, Velasquez wouldn't necessarily fall into that category like a Blaze Jordan or a Baez or Quinn Matthews. But not in the 40-man. Like we'd have to DFA somebody. But I agree with you.
You could probably
figure it out.
I mean, and if they're being honest, if you lost to Prieto, they'd probably be like, well, we hope not to.
Right. But he was tearing it up down there, too. So it's like.
But I don't think he's torn it up before, and they've never been real quick to call him up.
Yeah. He can really pimp the hell out of a fly ball.
I hate that there's always an answer of why you can't. It's like, okay, but other teams are doing this too.
Right. Yeah.
I just think Velasquez, and I have no idea, he may come up here and be horrible. But he's shown he's got a little bit of power. And right now you have so much redundancy, I feel like, in these guys who don't really hit.
Do you think they're waiting
on play all over the field?
Like, how much does Newt Bar coming back, do you think, plays a role in that?
That's probably what they'll tell you, too. But is that Mickey Mantle returning? I mean, what are we doing here?
Mantle's too old.
No, but
I'm not saying Mantle's coming.
He's someone that they pay, and not been relatively to Cardinal standards for 2026, a high amount of money. So they're certainly going to kick the tires on it.
They do seem to have a pretty good handle on who's hitting at AAA but probably won't hit at the major leagues. Because sometimes Luke and Baker was one.
That was a prime example.
You see a guy just tearing it up at AAA, and you can't help but wonder, what's he doing there? Why isn't he here?
Right.
And then they get to the major leagues, and it's not quite the same.
Usually the answer to that is almost always first defense. Usually defense is like, they're just like, I don't think that they're a major league defender.
But if you hit enough, you'll play.
Right. There's a sliding scale with that. If you're hitting enough, that can relieve some of the bad defense. And the other thing is that either you strike out too much or that they just don't believe that you will make that transition over for whatever reason. Luke and Baker had opportunities in the major leagues, and with the Cardinals, he just wasn't the same. Obviously, it's major league pitching.
But he's not the other. They had a guy, I forget his name completely, 5 or 6 years ago, who was hitting 30 home runs at AAA, and he'd done it a couple times. I said, what's the deal?
Darnell Coles?
It was not Darnell Coles, but never really got a sniff. Somehow, they've got some way to detect who's going to be a really good AAA player, but probably not make it to the majors. And if that's the case, why do you keep him?
The origin of Darnell Coles, by the way, Fox Midwest, one of their post-game shows, like playoff, postseason, post-games, they would have Fernando Vina, or former Cardinal, come in and kind of sit on the desk and be part of the postseason run. One year it was Darnell Coles, and we were all a little confused at the time. And I don't know if he's a forgotten Cardinal. I think he played for the Pirates. But somehow somebody like in management knew him, and that was, God bless him, but that's why I think whenever Tim goes, Darnell Coles, it started with that.
Jordan Walden balloon party is on its way.
Okay.
John Gall, Doug.
Is that who it was?
No.
That's not the name I was thinking of.
John Gall is one of those players who was always crushing it at Memphis.
Yeah.
And then got to the big leagues and just didn't quite work out.
Yeah, like 4A players. They're too good for AAA.
How pissed, though, do you think Alan Craig is?
And who was the infielder that was a first-round draft pick, a tall guy, shortstop?
O'Neal Cruz.
No.
Ellie De La Cruz.
We're talking about Cardinals.
Early 2000s.
Tyler Green?
Yeah, that's who it was.
5-tool.
Had every tool you could possibly look for in a player.
Even a sixth.
And just couldn't quite put it together at the major league level.
Yeah. Martin, are you a 5-tool radio man? You're a 5-tool media person.
What are the 5 tools of radio? Getting to breaks
5 tools
clean?
of media? Oh, 5 tools of radio, yeah. Getting to breaks clean.
If you're a 5-tool radio
soliciting
guy,
calls.
You can talk. You can hear.
Talk.
You can plug in your headset.
Yeah.
Doug struggles sometimes with the headset.
Yeah.
You can read.
Yeah, you can read. That'd be 4. Ad lib, would that be the 5th one?
Yeah.
Get in and out of breaks clean.
Yeah, you're a 3-tool then.
3-tool.
Yeah.
Yeah, this guy I don't know how to get the breaks. Is that what you were intimating or no?
No, we do need to go to break.
You were just chopping it up in general.
Right, I was just...
If you apply that like to your insurance guy, is he 5-tool? Oh, yeah, responds
James
quickly.
Carlton's 5-tool.
He's 5-tool.
Yeah.
Responds quickly to calls.
No, James Carlton is
keeps the rates reasonable.
Yeah, James Carlton.
Has a great staff.
Yeah, all of the above.
5-tool.
Our guy, James Carlton.
James Carlton of the Carlton State Farm Insurance Agency is online at carltoninsurance.net. Jackson Burkett and I are clients now of James Carlton. Jackson just made the switch. I have been working with him now going back to 2019. You're going to get great customer service, and on top of it, there is a really good chance he is going to be able to save you money on your automotive insurance. Call 314-961-4800 or go online at carltoninsurance.net. Has your insurance gone up in the last year? Give James a chance to save you money. And if you have kids under 25 on your insurance policy, this is where James has saved people a lot of money in the TMA audience. 314-961-4800 or go online at carltoninsurance.net. If your insurance costs a leg and an arm, call James Carlton, State Farm.
Former big league player texted me and said the owners are always cooking the books. Said I was a player rep and that they can hide the money. You can pay family members. There's ways that you can just take that money that's coming in. And so I think that's at the core here is the distrust. We were talking about all the MLB player owner issues. Dale and Grubbill said, why don't they just hold the labor talks right here? Send in a picture. It's a picture I took yesterday. It was down at the Dome, the old Battlehawks walkthrough. Doug, they had a walkthrough at the Dome, getting ready for the game tonight with the Dallas Renegades.
Nice.
And I was driving down through the landing, And there's Sundeckers, which was such a hot spot. And it looks, time stood still because it's still got the awning that says Sundeckers. Paper's a little too young, but Mississippi Nights and Harpo's were just down the road from there.
My parents met at Mississippi Nights.
Is that right?
Did they really?
Mm-hmm.
But it was such a thing. And I just put out a little picture. I said it was just a moment in time. You would say, meet me at Sundeckers. And you wouldn't believe the amount of people responding. And I had an idea. I have a lot of ideas. Most of them are bad. I wonder, I'm sure it's horrible inside. But could we just have one night at Sunday, have a big old party, a TMA party at Sundeckers?
Oh, it's still open?
Well, it's not, but we would open it up, Doug.
Well, it's going to be hard if it's not open.
Well, it's not, but we would, for one night only, the TMA blowout at Sunday. Now, again, it probably needs a little dusting off.
Sure.
And maybe OSHA would have to check the deck and back to make sure it's standard.
That tweet might make you a nostalgia merchant.
Oh, I think I am.
Yeah, you're a nostalgia
Kind of
merchant.
like, who's our guy? Super 70 Sports?
Yeah, nostalgia
Loves
merchant.
nostalgia.
Yeah.
But I love it too.
Sure, who doesn't?
And people were saying, I first moved here with my family and we got Rams season tickets, or I'd go there before Cardinal games, or I'd meet friends there. And I am a nostalgia merchant.
Yeah.
Are you nostalgic for people that go to break?
Yes.
I suspect you are. Bob Costas is coming up at 8:30 here in about 10 minutes. He's going to be at Busch this weekend. NBC has the Sunday night game, Cards and Cubs. We've got Shoto Imanaga tonight, the lefty going for the Cubs. He's been roughed up his last couple of outings. Andre Palante for the Cards. This is TMA on 101 ESPN. Well, we had a great experience with Michael's Bass. They came out to the house. We said the kids' bathroom over here is just a disaster. It's really old, falling apart. We need to hit the refresh button. And they drew up a little plan and said, what about this? Okay, you can move that over there. You could. And the best part is the folks you meet with, the sales folks, they are former installers, so they know exactly what they're talking about. Whether you're doing a tub to shower. Wow, tub to shower. Invert all of that. Whether you're doing that type of conversion or doing a full remodel like we did with the kids, it's all reasonably priced, and you're dealing with a family-owned, operated business. Michael's Bath's been doing this now for 30 years. Michael's the owner. His daughter answers the phone. All 5-star reviews, A+ rating with the BBB. So if you're doing a complete transformation or just a little bit of a tweak, this is the folks. These are the folks to call. Let's just redo all of that papers. These are the folks to call. 636-775-0800. 636-775-0800. They'll get you a bid, and it is reasonably priced. michaelsbass.com. They have premium wall options, high-quality products, 30 years experience, certified, and everybody on the team there works for Michaels. They're not subbing out the work at all. So at Michaels Bass, they're going to help you elevate your bathroom space. Get online at michaelsbass.com. The morning after TMA, Martin, Doug, Jackson with you, Chairman Kurt on assignment in California, Tim on assignment. Is he back on Monday?
Yes.
Okay, we're all, the whole gang's back together for June 1st, that show. It's Friday. You know what we do on Friday? It's a little thing called Drops of the Week. It's brought to you by VIP Auto.
Morning after. Drops of the week.
Yeah, you gotta drop it like a hot dog.
It's a wonderful drop.
Indeed it is. Put that off. Put that off. Put that off. Put that off.
Clip that off.
You lick the pole, Red Rider.
Imagine what he could do on Grinder.
Well, damn, Doug.
Doug's a little boy whore.
You hit a solo homer, and in the dugout, you want to dress the guy up in a dumb hat and a vest. I mean, what's wrong with you?
I was kind of wondering, should I get into Hamburger Helper?
She's about 27 and really into this show.
You don't know what the heck you're doing. You got a kid coming up today, Morabito, who's got a runner on second base and 2 out, and he's bunting. Huh? What is he doing bunting?
It's heart-wrenching, you know, to see the club, and
Oh, look at him.
Such an idiot, such an idiot.
Honestly, I'm really...
You guys have been fantastic.
I really mean that. It's a devastating day for the club, but we'll be back.
Yeah.
Thanks very much.
Of course, man.
Wow, Doug. I mean, good call. I do have a thick neck.
Back to you. That was Drops of the Week.
Drop, down, drop. Get it.
1 week anniversary of thick-necked Matt driving to the lake. Doug called him out. Boy.
Right.
Awkward. But then he called back with a full review of the lake weekend after the Memorial Day weekend.
It's probably hard to get a turtleneck around a real thick neck.
You would think.
Would you get a dickie?
I have one of those.
A fake turtleneck?
Right. I've
Good luck.
misplaced it, though. I can't find it.
Really? Doug can't find his dickie?
Clip that off for next week. Did you get into Hamburger Helper, and why was that a topic?
No, I think Iggy maybe brought up Shake and Bake or something. Like complained about something with Shake and Bake, and I was, harboring an interest in Hamburger Helper. And that's just, was that just mac and cheese and you add hamburger to it? Essentially?
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Well, give it a shot. Give us a full report next week.
I'm not against boxed food.
Doug, where are you on boxed food? Like a rice-a-roni box?
Yeah.
Hamburger Helper.
Shake and Bake.
Cereal is boxed food.
I love cereal.
Do you?
And that's a boxed food?
Nutritionally, empty, but one of the tastiest treats you can have.
Where are you on boxed food? Well, that's Bob Costas.
Let's see where Bob Costas is.
Yeah, hey, where are you, Bob, on boxed food?
What if he was like, I have Chef Boyardee every Friday for lunch?
Cards Cubs this weekend. Tonight's game, Cardinals.tv. Saturday on the old 2 Fox. Sunday, there's some channel in town that's called, they call it News 5 or I don't know.
Never
Apparently
heard of it.
that game is on.
Never heard of it.
I wouldn't even bother. But we'll talk baseball next with Bob.
VIP Auto Accessories. You go to VIP Auto Accessories and they take care of everything. Sometimes people don't know that, but they're a one-stop shop. So in some cases, people bring their vehicles to 4 or 5 different places when everything could have been taken care of in-house at VIP Auto Accessories. Tommy Sabulka and Brian Grigg will take great care of you. They've been in business since 1979 at VIP Auto Accessories with 60-plus employees, allowing for quicker turnaround times. It's VIP Auto Accessories. 4 departments under one roof. Commercial upfits, graphic solutions, hail repair, and touch-up and aftermarket. If it can be done, VIP Auto Accessories can probably do it. Got my windows tinted at VIP Auto Accessories a few weeks ago. Window tinting is a lifetime warranty, and window tints are great to have in the summer, keeping your kids cool in the car. It's VIP Auto Accessories. For all your commercial vehicle upfit needs, ask for Tommy Sabulka. And for all your aftermarket vehicle accessories needs, ask for Brian Grigg and tell him the TMA sent you to VIPAutoaccessories.com.
Big Cards Cubs weekend. Going to be a lot of fun down at Busch Stadium, as mentioned earlier. Looking at close to 40 on Friday and Saturday and mid-30s. And you'll probably get a good walk-up as well. And in town this weekend for the NBC game on Sunday. Yeah, Sunday Night Baseball on NBC. Bob Costas coming back to town. And Bob, Doug and I will officially welcome you back to the Gateway City.
I appreciate that very much, Martin. But listening to that last commercial block, I've altered my plans just a bit. Upon landing at Lambert, before heading downtown to the hotel, I'm making a detour to Fast Eddie's Bon Air. It's been
nice.
You should. And Izzy might be hanging out there. And both Fast Eddie and Izzy just kind of have that Mike Shannon DNA in there. All right, what you doing, boy? All right.
No, without Mike Shannon and the memory of Mike Shannon, what would Fast Eddie's Bon Air be?
Yeah, Mike was a true ambassador.
Yes.
I told this story that Mike was always doing commercials for Lake of the Ozarks, and so I wanted to do a fishing piece with Mike, and we met on a lake over in Freeburg, Illinois, or wherever, and at the end of this great segment, he's fishing, and he's telling stories about his career. It was good TV. And at the end, he leaned over and he said, "Now, here's the thing, Martin. You tell everybody I was at the Lake of the Ozarks." And I said, "Mike, this looks nothing like the Lake of the Ozarks." He said, "They won't know any better." And I said, well, I think they will. So we had to work around that. But you're coming back for a Cards Cubs weekend, and you're back doing work with NBC. How much fun has that been for you?
It's been great because of the way they crafted it. An emeritus role, and everything that they've asked me to do so far, and really it's in collaboration, has been pitch perfect. As I said at the beginning, I don't want to encroach on anyone else's territory, and I think it's become obvious right from the start, even to casual viewers, what this means. I'm doing the opening narrations on some baseball games and some NBA games. I did the open for Game 6 last night between the Thunder and the Spurs, and I'll do the open for tomorrow night's Game 7 between the two of them. Did a number of them during the course of the season. The very first Sunday night NBA game, they had me bring it on the air, not just with the voiceover, but coming on camera with the idea, as I was saying in 2002, welcome to the NBA on NBC, because I'm the bridge. I'm the only guy that was really there in any kind of prominent role when last they had the NBA and when last they had baseball, which is 2000. So I do these little vignettes, and I'm there for historical purposes. And they asked me if during the first year I would host some of the baseball games. And they're nice enough in this geriatric stage of my life and career to tell me that you pick the ones you want. So naturally, I want to come to St. Louis and do the Cardinals and the Cubs. And then the next week, I'll be at Wrigley for the Giants and the Cubs. And the first game was in L.A., the Dodgers home opener, so that made sense. And the rest of the games for most of the summer are in New York, Boston, Philadelphia. It's logistically easy for me. And I'll be involved in the wild card round. They have all 4 wild card series, and I'll have some sort of role there. And then when anything comes up, historical or whatever it might be, where the audience would say, yeah, it makes sense for Bob to talk about that, that's what I do.
Sounds like the perfect deal in semi-retirement, because you're way too young to sit around and just watch TV or play golf every day.
Yeah, that's true. Too young to completely retire, too old to do what I used to do. You know, I watched Tirico, what he did the Super Bowl, and then less than 24 hours later, he's somehow back in Milan hosting the Olympics. And I said, what kind of crazy person would do that? And then I reminded myself, that's what I used to do.
You think, Mike, and there's so many, there's just a handful in that conversation, yourself and Al Michaels, and you've got Joe Buck and Nance and Tirico, but boy, Tirico seems to have fallen into kind of what you did, which was take the lead on so many different properties. And he's just, I'm assuming you know him somewhat too. He just seems to be the perfect fit for that job.
Not only do I know him somewhat, he received the first Bob Costas scholarship at Syracuse University in 1987. So I've known him since he was like 20, 21 years old. So there's some symmetry there for me to pass the baton to him. And that was the whole idea. NBC made absolutely the right move. Whoever was the second best choice, no disrespect, was closer to the 10th best choice than the first, because Tirico not only is very, very talented, but he was able to fit seamlessly into Al's role and into my role. He is just kind of a polymath when it comes to all this stuff, within sports. He can host, he can do play-by-play, and he can do a wide variety of sports. So he's the right guy.
Well, and your name came up on this show. So we had a Mizzou alumni event. They asked our gang to show up and take questions, and then Doug was berated because he said, "Why wouldn't Mizzou play SLU?" And some of the older alumni just
yelled at me.
He started yelling at the true son that Doug is a Mizzou guy. But we were told then, hey, Bob is going to be at the golf tournament for the Mizzou alumni, so the Tiger Club of St. Louis, and they said tapping into his Tiger days. And I think a lot of folks forget that. Was it you and John Rooney on the call?
Yeah, seldom together, although sometimes, because we were both essentially play-by-play guys. But sometimes I was gone doing NBC stuff at that point in the early 1980s, and John would do the call. But, yeah, that's when John and I first became acquainted. And you want to talk about a classic radio play-by-play guy for baseball? John Rooney is that. John Rooney is great right now, and he would have been very good in 1955. That's the style that he uses.
Yeah, I'd say technically sound at all. What my favorite thing with Rooney, when he describes the uniforms, he'll say, they've got the powder blue on the left arm and then up the sleeve and the piping, and he'll just great detail.
You know, you can chuckle about that, but the way you're supposed to do a radio broadcast, of course you have a monitor in the booth because of replays and whatnot and challenges and various things that a visual can help you with. But a radio broadcast essentially is supposed to be done as if the listener has no access to a television. Ray Charles made this clear to me once. Here's a reference from out of nowhere. I'm interviewing Ray Charles for an NBC News magazine. And in the middle of it, discussing the wide scope of his genius career, he says, Bob, you know who I'd like to meet? And I'm thinking, who could it possibly be? You're Ray Charles. You can meet anybody you want. Who? Vin Scully. Why? Well, I love baseball. And here's something important about Ray Charles. He didn't lose his sight until he was like 5 or 6 years old. So he has a frame of reference. He says, I love baseball, but to me, only the sound matters, not the picture, except the picture I can imagine. And Vin Scully's broadcasts not only are descriptive, they're almost musical. Would you introduce me to Vin Scully? Well, yeah, I think I could arrange that. And I brought Ray to Dodger Stadium, and he spent some time with Vin Scully, and he was like a little kid. But that's the magic of baseball on the radio if it's done well.
Guys as good as Vin Scully, and you mentioned Mike Tirico, and I think you are also in this category. Guys who speak so well. Are you born with that? You can't go to a class and learn that, can you? That's just kind of a natural ability, isn't it?
Yeah, I think you can learn it by doing it. If you have the knack, if that's somewhere within you, it's not going to be perfect first time out. But if you get enough reps and you discover that you do have that knack, then you can work on it and you can develop it.
All right, before I let the Mizzou conversation go away, then this show has a very random rat-a-tat-tat to it. And somewhere we started talking about Kingdom City, and then a texter said, Costas had a place he would go to on the way back.
Yeah, I drive down, about a 2-hour drive from St. Louis to Columbia to do the games. I became very close with Norm Stewart during that period of time and still in touch with him. And on the way back, almost always on the way back, 11 o'clock, midnight, whatever it was, I'd stop at Gaspar's truck stop in Kingdom City.
Gaspar's truck. There's the answer, Doug.
What do you get there? A burger? Is that a...
I do a burger, and they had an incredible banana cream pie.
Oh.
And it's also, by the way, also the kind of establishment, a little bit like Uncle Bill's Pancake House, where they had various like knickknacks and sundries that had nothing to do with what you wanted to eat at 1 o'clock in the morning, but little figurines and also some things alongside the restroom that might be a necessity for truckers who just had to stop,
Just the essentials of the road, Doug.
Yes, that's correct.
Bob Costas with us. He'll be at Busch Stadium on Sunday night. And we're speaking of announcers, that Jason Benetti, there's somebody whose stock has just skyrocketed. Met him a couple of times. Just a tremendously nice gentleman. But he's a guy who can step in and just about do any sport.
Yes, he can. I don't know about the hosting part, but the play-by-play part, he's been excellent in every sport and every assignment. And, he has a wide frame of reference. The other day, or other night, some Sunday night game in Seattle a few weeks ago, there's a pop fly down the left field line. and it's one of these plays, third baseman, shortstop, left fielder converge, it drops harmlessly. Just before that, I'm talking seconds before that, for whatever reason, they're talking about Seinfeld. He couldn't possibly have anticipated this. The ball drops. It's one of the few plays in baseball that you don't put in a scorebook. It's nothing. He goes, well, there was a play about nothing. Now, that's very subtle, but that shows presence of mind and a frame of reference. And especially in baseball, which has a different kind of pace in broadcasting than other sports do, you need that. You need that ability to tell a story or just pull something out of nowhere because it occurs to you and it fits in that moment. Jason has that ability, and he's yet another one from Syracuse University. I think it's a federal law that half of all working sports broadcasters have to have attended Syracuse.
It is the list is just there's a bunch of Alberts out there, and
right.
I mean, those alone they could have their own wing. It's unbelievable.
Lindenwood has a lot in this,
and the local
Yeah.
we got,
Lindenwood, Indiana has some, including Joe Buck. Fordham has some, Vin Scully, Michael Kay, USC has some, but Syracuse has as many prominent broadcasters, past and present, as all those other universities combined.
Bob, we were playing a clip earlier from Ken Rosenthal as the players, the owners, and the unions going back and forth, kind of the early discussion now of what many think is going to be a less than fruitful discussion.
Yeah.
But and Rosenthal said it just comes at a time when baseball is on a bit of an uptick here, whether it's ratings or attendance and just revenue. It just seems like both sides have already predetermined there'll be a lockout. I threw out the idea, could you even just kick it down the road, say, okay, if you get late in this calendar year, we don't have a decision or an agreement, let's go status quo for 1 year. I don't know what the labor laws are, but just anything to avoid the lockout is sort of my proposal.
You know, that makes sense, and it should appeal to both sides, which is not to say that you would purposely slow walk the negotiations. But if, in fact, there's any kind of progress at all and they're working towards some kind of deal, rather than blow the whole thing up and, as you say, forfeit all the good feeling that surrounds baseball now, why not just say, okay, we'll keep talking and you keep playing?
I mean, I think it's a reasonable thought, but the level of distrust to me is, and this is going on. Go back to the lockout 30 years ago. They just, neither side believes what the other side. You know, there's no appreciation for the stance on either side. I don't see it working out, and I just hate that idea. And I don't know who the smart people are that could figure this out.
Well, all three versions, all three of the other major sports in North America have a version of a salary cap. The NHL, which has an entirely different financial circumstance than the other three, has a hard cap. The NBA and the NFL have caps of one kind or another, and you need a degree in economics from the Wharton School, not the one that Trump faked, but an actual degree in economics from the Wharton School to figure out exactly what those salary cap provisions are. But they have a version of it. But from the start, with the Baseball Players Association, it's been a line that cannot be crossed and, in effect, can never even be discussed. And part of it is that they play upon, from Marvin Miller to Don Fehr and then on now to Tony Clark and whomever his successors are now that Tony got in trouble, it's almost an article of faith. You cannot trust them. Even though all the owners are different over time, you cannot trust them. And, of course, when they colluded back in the 1980s and had to pay millions and millions of dollars in damages to the players, that kind of solidified that feeling. And that's kind of their rallying cry always, no matter how vast the riches become, no matter how much better their circumstances are, no matter what other guarantees the owners present. This is not a brief for the owners. I've always been, on balance, a player's guy, but this shouldn't be a holy war anymore. It should just be an enlightened negotiation that takes into account that there's a lot of mutual interest here. If we start with that as a feeling, then you can get to an agreement.
You think there's any way the players would accept any sort of salary cap?
They might have to dress it up as something different. Same effect, but we're not going to call it a salary cap. That might be a starting point.
Yeah, I agree with that. Let's just relay. Yeah, they need to. The semantics could come into play here. Bob, before we let you go, we were talking at the outset here, and I forget why, but we were talking about in our role, Doug, myself as reporters, being intimidated or getting dunked on. I said, well, one time Paul Newman, in a group setting said to me, well, who are they? Because we always say, well, they said. And I about wet myself on the scene because it was Paul Newman. And then you got dunked on by Chuck Mangione. You said, Doug asked him for an interview and he said, why would I? But I said, it doesn't matter where you're working. I said, Bob has a story where they sent him to get Jack Nicholson to be part of the NBA on NBC. And I know I said there may be some swear words involved, but if you could give us the St. Louis radio version of that.
Yeah, I'll clean it up a little bit. So it's the 1992 NBA Finals in Chicago, the Bulls against the Portland Trailblazers. And Jack Nicholson is in Chicago shooting the movie Hoffa. And as we know, Nicholson is a big-time NBA fan. Courtside seats, always very prominent at Laker games. On this occasion, he's sitting along one of the baselines underneath one of the baskets. And someone from NBC spots him. And they say, Bob, do you know Jack Nicholson? And I say, well, a little bit. Well, why don't you go down there and ask him if he'll come on with us at halftime? Now, I'm way up in the rafters at the old Chicago Stadium. And I say, look, I'll do anything for you, but this is a fool's errand. Don't you understand that this is Jack Nicholson's whole approach to this? He doesn't do television. I've heard him say it before. People go to a theater. They turn out the lights. Nothing's bothering them. I'm on a big screen. I'm a movie star. I'm not a TV star. He wouldn't even go on with Johnny Carson, and this was just after Johnny Carson's run at The Tonight Show had ended. When everybody was lining up to go on one last time, Jack Nicholson wouldn't go on with Johnny Carson. You think he's coming on with me at halftime of this game? You owe it to us. Go down there and ask him. All right, fine. Now I got to haul ass around and around and around down to courtside. And I come up behind him at the 4-minute timeout, and I tap him on his right shoulder. So now picture Jack Nicholson's head coming around over his right shoulder. And when he makes eye contact and I first see his face, I swear, it reminds me of that look on his face from The Shining. So I say, Jack. And he goes, as soon as he sees me, he goes, oh, hi, Bob. So I say, Jack, they're watching, just play along. I'm supposed to ask you if you'll come on with us at halftime. And he says, Bobby, you're a nice kid. You do good work. How can I put this nicely? No effing way. No. So I say, Jack, I'll take that as a no. Enjoy the rest of the game. Now I got to race all the way back up to the top, practically out of breath by the time the halftime show starts.
F no. Hey, Bob, you seem like a good kid.
It's always easy for the producer to suggest these things. They don't have to be the ones asking.
On the front line. I mean, you've interviewed so many people. This would be my final thought from Costas, Coast to Coast, and all the HBO programming. Was there ever anybody you said, I want to get, just couldn't get to him as far as a featured, or you would love, even in this day, to get 15, 20 minutes with?
Oh, I think the sports answer has been for a very long time Sandy Koufax. But Sandy has always been, honestly, a private person. I don't think he's comfortable with that. Plus, does he need to gild the lily? He did what he did, and he has a true legend and mystique surrounding him. One time, this goes back 20, 25 years, when I asked him through the Dodgers PR department, he called me back himself. And the conversation ended with, Bob, if I ever do it, I'll do it with you, which was very nice. And then after a while, I began to realize I'm at the front of a line that never moves. So I might as well be at the back. But he did do it one time in a special circumstance. There was an all-star game situation where they announced some kind of Mount Rushmore of living players, and it was Johnny Bench. The game was in Cincinnati. Johnny Bench, Hank Aaron, Willie Mays, Sandy Koufax. So we asked Sandy, given the fact that it's with these three other fellow Hall of Famers, the focus is not primarily on you. Would you do it? And he agreed to do it, and he was great. Anecdotal, funny. They just went back and forth among each other. I just kind of tossed topics out there and got out of the way, and they had this terrific conversation that the audience was just kind of eavesdropping on, and Sandy could not have been more gracious and better as an interview subject. He just doesn't like to do it most of the time.
He really is our J.D. Salinger, and the young kids are going to have to Google that reference. On the local scene, Ted Simmons was going into Cooperstown, and I called him and said, I wanted to do a piece. He said, Martin, I have no interest in discussing anything in the past. It's fruitless. And I said, Okay, that's going to make it kind of tough because I don't really have any questions about the future at my disposal. But, well, Bob, hey, thanks so much for the time.
Ted, isn't getting into the Hall of Fame about what you did in the past?
Yes. He said, I'll talk about anything but the past. And I said, okay. Well, I was stumped. And I said, well, I'll get back to you. And that remains on hold. Bob, enjoy the weekend here in St. Louis. We'll look for our buddy up at Fast Eddie's.
Thanks, guys. See ya.
All right, Bob Costas, NBC with the game on Sunday night. Jason Benetti, he is outstanding. In fact, he did during a rain delay on a Tigers game, he does like a Sean McDonough impression.
Oh, really?
That's dead on. And then the ESPN voice guy who does all the and by Geico or whatever.
Right.
It's worth Googling.
I told you my Sandy Koufax story, didn't I? Cardinal spring training a couple years ago.
Did you approach him?
No, I was too scared. I stopped at Panera Bread in Palm Beach Gardens to have lunch, went outside on the patio and looked up. He was at the very next table with a couple women and a baby. He was rocking some kid in the cradle, and I just couldn't hardly eat.
Yeah.
Just staring at it. And I'm sure he's gotten that for the last 50 or 60 years of his life now.
Right. And it's crazy, too, because, once you reach a certain age, you don't look any different usually than, someone who didn't play Major League Baseball. But, the difference between the two people right there is so vast of their past. It's crazy.
He didn't need to gild the lily. I'm just I looked at you.
Costas is unbelievable.
The vernacular.
When he said
what does
they
that
have
mean
a delightful...
exactly?
I don't know, but it sounded great.
He said they have an excellent banana cream pie. It's like, God, this guy's unbelievable.
But he's talking about going to a truck stop in the early 80s, and in my head, I'm picturing No Country for Old Men, just kind of one of those really old, at midnight, empty diners.
Gild the lily means to add unnecessary decoration, embellishment, or praise to something that's already beautiful. It's already perfect or complete in its own right.
This show is not worthy of phrasing like that.
No.
It's TMA, the morning after, presented by Brown and Crouppen. We're in the 8 o'clock hour, the Fisher Door and Window Store, or Window and Door Store. You know what it is. I've inverted a lot today.
Yeah, very Tony of you.
Very two Fox.
Yeah.
I was talking about Michael's baths.
Yeah, Bath Michaels.
Well, yeah, Bath Michaels. Instead of tub to shower, I said tower to shove. I mean, that's almost like early signs of a stroke.
But you don't need to talk it up too much. It would almost be like you were gilding the lily.
Yes, I wouldn't want to gild the
Did you say that? I
did.
Back and
if you go back and listen.
Tower to
shove. And I thought for a second, maybe I am having a stroke.
Tower to shove is unbelievable.
And I think the skipper did invert some words here and there, and then Tim said,
it probably happened like twice.
Yeah, and then Tim said, "Oh my God, you've made a Hall of Fame manager into dyslexic." And it stuck. Yeah, it's still the two Fox to this day. Oh my God! All right, coming up 9:30, the Forgotten Cardinals with our guy Will Saulsbery, and a lot of great people are just firing off names left and right earlier. Who could be in the book? Who might be in the book? We'll find out more about that, and maybe a soup. Maybe I'll send out a soup siren.
Yeah, a little soup sign.
Yeah. I think he probably got kind of hurt because he liked calling it every day, and then
it was never a criticism. Sometimes we were just behind. We're just behind, and much like Strickland, it's hard to hit a break with our guy number 37.
It's hard to hit a break, period. With Papers, it's just he has to fall out of his chair.
You're gonna make me fall out of the chair if you say tower to shove.
Go back and listen. I don't know when it happened.
I'm gonna cry.
Oh, Michael's baths will help you.
Yeah.
From shower to tub.
Yeah.
Not tower to...
Official revision right there.
It's TMA on 101 ESPN. It is autoloanpro.com. It's not Pro Auto Loan. No, autoloanpro.com. Great website to go to for your next vehicle. Check out the cars online, and then just know on that site you're going to get the best rates possible. You're also going to have little to no money down. That's what they promise you at autoloanpro.com. Doesn't matter your situation or your circumstance. Our guy Jim Olive has put together this website, and on top of that, he's put together the playbook that you can download with explaining to you how the credit industry works. So you're going to improve your credit and get into a new vehicle, autoloanpro.com. Financing a car gets a little complicated, can be frustrating. All you need to know is to choose the pro. Robert Thomas on the site, the free playbooks on the site. Again, whatever the situation, check out this website. They're part of the Lita family. So in the market for a car, not sure what you can get approved for, go to this site and get that next vehicle at autoloanpro.com.
This is Jackson with the Sports Center update, brought to you by Saliga Heating and Cooling. The Spurs defeat the Thunder last night, 118-91, to force a Game 7 in the Western Conference Finals. Victor Wembanyama, 28 points, 10 rebounds, and 3 blocks. That was another Sports Center update, brought to you by Saliga Heating and Cooling, a Daikin heating and air conditioning dealer.
I think I read that Pujols is going to be on the call Sunday night.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
Failed to bring that into the Costas conversation.
You think he could still hit about 240 with about 20 home runs?
I don't think he could leg anything out.
No. Well, he couldn't leg it. The
probably
last 5 years, he wasn't legging
smack
anything
the
out.
Snot out of the ball still. Yeah. It is weird when you're down at the stadium on occasion, just running through the tunnel there. You look, they have like a little meeting room where they're watching video, and they're just Yadi or Molina just sitting there and talking to the guys.
Yeah.
He's been around a ton.
Am I wrong that
Yes.
I thought that?
Yes.
Yeah, probably. I thought the conversation was before the season that he would be around for like 1, maybe 2 series total and would be more working in the minor leagues.
I honestly think they don't know what his commitment is.
Sure.
Year to year,
And he
week to
does
week.
pretty much whatever he wants to do.
Because he's been much more than just 2 series.
He's been around a lot.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm saying. You kind of forget he's in this, quasi-ambassador role. But then you look and like, oh, he's here again.
It's like the opposite of the last time, he was brought on the Cardinals, where it was like, oh, he's going to be around, then was never seen.
For an entire year.
Yeah, this time they're
on
like,
the payroll, missing for an entire year.
This time they're like, yeah, but he'll be around a little bit, and now he's been around a ton.
So they oversold it and then undersold it. They've learned.
Yes.
If you're him, wouldn't you rather hang around the major league team than Peoria?
Yeah, I would think.
Palm Beach or one of those.
I don't know. I kind of like the Izzy plan. I go, what do you got next? I'm going to go down to Palm Beach for a week. I'm like, there you go.
They probably always go down to Palm Beach.
Yeah.
You tell the family, I'll be back.
Complex
Got to
league.
work.
Yeah.
They need me at
That's
Palm
where
Beach.
the kids are. Yeah,
Dad, you never go to Peoria. Well, I'm really, really working hard on these Palm Beach kids.
Yeah. You're not there in Springfield too often.
But Albert will be back in town, and I was asking around with the Cardinals. I said, has he talked at all about getting voted? No, it's a slam dunk, but he's going into the Cardinals Hall of Fame.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's in September. He gets a red jacket with Yachty. I'm sure it means a ton to him. And I was told that the Angels have told the Cardinals you can't directly reach out to him to ask him to do anything on the topic.
Oh, because the personal services contract.
Stop it.
Right. I mean, I understand. Hey, he works for us. He has a personal services deal. But they also didn't hire him as their manager. If they love him so much, they could have hired him. Do you really care if he makes a few comments or gets?
Who would care?
Somebody at some level is being petty, because he should talk about that. And he'll be here for the weekend, and I'm sure that's when he'll be able to really share all of his thoughts. But it just occurred to me we hadn't heard one thing from him about getting voted in. And I was told that they're not allowed to approach him.
I wonder what they're paying him for this personal services.
I think it's $1 million a year. It was a $1 million for 10-year deal, I think.
Yeah, that's probably enough for him to say, I'd like to, but I'm not going to.
So
take my $1 million.
What if the Angels are like, oh, absolutely? He's like, tell him I can't, man. Like, oh, so it's actually his
maybe it's a good way for him not to have to do a bunch of interviews.
No, that's what I'm saying. We might
then get $1 million on top of it.
We might have stumbled into the real reason for it. Although, you know what? He was back last year for his Pujols Foundation. It was out of Top Golf. And He was great. And I said, people are surprised that you want to be a. What are they surprised about? I said, I don't know. You could probably buy an island somewhere and just do that.
Buy a team.
Buy a team and do that. But he actually loves it.
Maybe he couldn't buy a team. You got to be a multi-billionaire nowadays to
be
buy
a part
a
of
team.
a group, maybe.
Yeah.
Magic Johnson style.
Mm-hmm.
So Albert back this weekend, Yachty back. I would just assume that. I shouldn't say that with certainty. Cards Cubs weekend, Shoto Imanaga on the mound tonight. And the Cardinals, McGreevy and May both pitched in Milwaukee, and I would, arguably your two best pitchers. Palante was good at times, and Leahy's been good at times. Libator good at times. Those are your pitchers this weekend. Cubs did win their last 2 after losing 10 in a row. So, Doug, do you have a Vaughn index for me? The wild. How about let's start with the division.
Okay.
And I know you have your own metrics and the way to compute things. I'm looking for a Vaughn index.
Let me run the numbers
division and
real
the wild card.
quick if I could. What's their away record? 16-12. Okay, the Vaughn index would be a 4.5. 4.5. 4.5, 4.5, right in there. You want the lowest number possible in baseball on the Vaughn index.
Yes, but that also looks like their game's back.
Oh, is that right?
Okay, just sort of mirrors that.
I didn't even notice
All right,
that.
well, does the Vaughn Index do the wild card standings in the National League wild card?
That's a whole different form.
Because I know Arizona and San Diego are kind of near the top.
Yeah, you do want the lowest number. They're about a half, about a 0.5.
A half?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That also seems to mirror the
0 point
standings.
Is that right? Well, okay, then it's accurate again.
From the 5-7-3 guys, they're getting swept.
By the Cubs? Oh, that would really
This
be...
is a weekend here where we... What does papers like say? Careful. Be careful.
Hello, wild card. Daddy likey.
Yeah. Yeah, big be careful weekend. Can't let
big be careful weekend.
How do you be careful in a baseball game?
You can't let it slip away.
So what do you do differently than what you do in every other game?
Pitch better, hit better, field better.
Aren't they trying to do that in every game?
Yeah, but this weekend especially.
I don't know. I think that's a classic case of overanalysis.
Yeah, you just not the ball nowhere.
You have to be
unfortunately.
careful.
This is the fifth tool is knowing ball, and so you're unfortunately a 4-tool radio man.
I'll be darned.
Yeah, it hurts to hear that. I imagine
it does stings a little bit.
Guys, this is a sketch or a bit. Talking about the Vaughn standings.
The Vaughn index
sketch or a bit.
It's a long-standing
it's arithmetic is all it is.
Yeah, it's neither a sketch or a bit. There's no reason to gild Doug's lily. This is what he does.
My lily could use some gilding.
Flip that off.
You writing it down?
Well, I'll tell you who doesn't need his gilded lily, and that's Mark Milton. He is a 5-tool tax guy.
There you go.
He can do your unfiled tax returns. He can handle that, tax liens, bank levies, wage garnishments, and he can handle criminal investigation. There's your 5-tool tax guy, Mark Milton. If you're currently sideways with the IRS, this is the guy you want on your team. He will handle it for you and take on the godforsaken tax man. He is at stltaxlawyer.com. Mark earned his accounting degree from the University of Illinois, the #1 accounting program in the country. Then went on to get his law degree from St. Louis U. Now he lives and works right here in the St. Louis area. Started his legal career with the Department of Justice Tax Division in Washington, D.C., where he represented the IRS in tax cases around the country and picked up 4 or 5 of those tools. And then he received the DOJ's Outstanding Trial Attorney Award. He is absolutely one of the best in the country at what he does. He helps individuals and small businesses solve their tax problems. You have any kind of tax issue at all, or you just want your taxes done, Mark Milton is the guy. He is at stltaxlawyer.com. You'll be saying, I'm not guilty, I'm with Milty. Remember, the choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely on advertisements.
Not everybody liked the bump-in music. Dumbest song ever. Players don't play here anymore, you idiots. That's from Chairman's Pocket Partner.
Oh, that wasn't coming.
Because they used to come here, Doug, just because they love the fans.
Yeah, they didn't care about the money.
And they'd stay for less. The old St. Louis discount.
Which wet blanket texted that in?
Okay, wet blanket. That was Chairman's Pocket Partner.
Yeah. Oh, let's be better.
It's a catchy little tune.
I think so.
Wet blanket.
Yeah.
It's one of the all-time great phrases, too.
Yeah.
Another one is flat tire.
But it puts out a fire, so it actually should be a helpful.
Well, it's
hey, you're a real wet blanket. Thanks so much.
It's got a little Don Imus to it.
Wet blanket. That almost was like Don Tuna. It almost went from Don Imus. It's a big dyslexic stroke Martin Friday, because that Don Imus reminded me of Chuck Tuna.
Yeah.
Which is whenever Strick is around, it always reminds me. He used to call Andy, Chuck Tuna, and say, hey, Bernie mad at me? Is Bernie mad at me? And Andy's like, I don't know. What, Bernie Miklasz? Yeah, Bernie mad at me. What's he mad at me? He would always want to know if Bernie's mad at me.
Is he still on the air somewhere, Charlie?
I think with Strick, they do the slop. Remember, that was on 590, but they do it with Frank now on 550. I think once a week they do the slop. He wanted to come to the Dotem last year. Remember, he got.
Oh, he did.
Charlie?
He said, "Can I come by?" You remember that? And I said, "We're not doing guests." And then next week, hey, Andy Banker joins us on site.
Yeah, we had actually a lot of people.
I got nuked.
Speaking of Charlie's, why isn't Chuck Marlowe calling in today? That's what. If it's a friend of the show Friday, which I believe
he's actually in California. I actually communicated with Chuck this week because I said perfect time for Chuckles to stop by.
We'll drive by.
He's in California.
What's he doing there?
Is there a HIPAA law? If
Probably.
It's your kids' health. I think it's
okay.
something. Everything's fine, but it's something family related.
All
Yeah,
right.
but we just love when Chuck drops by.
Well, sure.
Are you leading into something?
No.
Oh, I thought you were looking at your little keyboard.
I'm constantly. Well, with Kurt out means
play some Chuck. Okay, I thought you wanted to play.
I'd play some Chuck. Shut up, kid, and play some Chuck.
Yes, I thought that's what you were alluding to.
No, I can. Here, you want some Chuck? You have to give me a second. Here, now I have some Chuck.
We'll play
Good evening, sports fans. Doug Vaughn here with your Sportscast. Our top story tonight, John Jay will be back tomorrow. Here's him getting a hit in 2012.
I am a winery guy.
Why would you prepare for a show?
I'm very attractive. People are tired of the cat and his New York values. Their record doesn't show really how well they compete.
Let me tell you, there was some coitus. Do you take pot?
I'm a solid St. Louis 9. I want to see Doug all drunk.
The playoffs started today. The Blues would play the Blackhawks, who knocked them out in the first round last season.
There you go.
That's local news coverage right there.
Minute Paul eligible says Charlie's filming a porno in the Napa region.
I don't know that he is.
That's confusing because Chairman Kurt is in the Napa region.
Maybe they went together.
But neither of which are filming any stag movies.
That we know of.
Yeah, I guess.
Guys, just packing in for the week. Without Tim, this ship is rudderless. Thanks.
Okay.
That's from Big Tough.
Leave us alone.
I like when they say thanks.
Yeah, right. A rudderless ship, though, can still follow wind patterns and get to land. Land ho.
My nickname in high school was the wet blanket, but for a much different reason, I would imagine. I don't even know what that means.
I can put two and two together.
I can't.
Oh.
You're like sitting on the couch, maybe a movie's on, Julianne Moore. Next thing you know. Well, I'm just thinking out loud here.
Guys, the Vaughn Index is so dead on, it's freaky.
Mm-hmm. It's true.
It's accurate is what it is.
And it's been accurate for going on, 15, 20 years now?
South City Implant also pointing out that they hear the clicks when Doug does the Vaughn Index.
Well, I have to do some calculations.
Right. That's just that's the adding machine.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Your abacus is...
Guys, I'll be in attendance tomorrow night. Stop by section 191 to share beer. We can go tarps off in the family bathroom. That's from Flip Wilson. You said you like Flip Wilson.
Big fan.
Nobody's invited you to the game yet. Papers is looking for an invite.
No.
They're looking for free tickets.
No.
I think it will be a huge tarps off weekend.
Yeah, agreed.
And
They'll be going nuts.
we broke it on this show the other day. That's taking place now in right field. The bleachers of right field is a new designated GA, general admission area.
Yeah, sure, it's optional.
I haven't seen them announce it or release that anywhere, have they?
They did last week. They put out a whole statement. That's why we had a new con.
About what?
What do you mean about what? We had a new Currante on talking about their announcement that the right field is going to become a GA section.
The bleachers.
The right field bleachers are going to become a GA section.
No, that wasn't. They were continuing the tarps off section, upstairs, I think. And I think now that it's in the right field bleachers.
No, we were talking to him about that being in the right field bleachers right above the bullpen.
So then when we heard about it on Tuesday, why were we confused?
I don't know. I was confused why you guys were pretending like that was news. I thought you were being nice to the caller or whatever, but we had talked about that the week prior. Unless I'm mistaken.
I may have mistook right field, that upper section they were in.
No.
As opposed to specifically the right field bleachers. Did you follow it that way, Doug?
I don't follow much
of any of this.
I kind of understood it to be that they were trying to move the tarps off region to the right field bleachers.
Right. Make that designated.
So Anook said that on this show.
I thought so, unless I
Well, then
misheard.
maybe he's really wondering, what's this bonehead texting me for? We've already discussed this.
Because a caller said that they were doing construction to take the seats out.
Right.
And we were like, what?
Like they were truly renovating the right field bleacher
which was
area.
inaccurate.
So we did get clarification on that.
Yeah, but I was under the impression that we had talked to Mr. Cruderante about that earlier in the previous week. But again, I could be wrong.
Martin has no memory. Papers is dead on. That's from Griff 2.
Right. I was a little surprised that we were all kind of like, really? This is happening? I was like, didn't we? I thought maybe I was dreaming or something. I have vivid dreams.
Jackson is right. I was also confused why you guys were confused.
Okay. All right. That makes me feel better.
Pirates beat writer. You're getting a lot of support in the text inbox.
I could be like the external hard drive of this show where I could store memories for you guys to free you up. I did that for Iggy for a while.
I feel like the brain is kind of like a computer where you've got so much memory, and after you've filled up all that memory, if it's jam-packed with memories, there's really not much room for anything else to go in.
I can store some of that for you.
Yeah. Okay.
I got plenty of data space.
All right.
You guys
have
broke
some stories you want to offload?
Yeah.
You guys broke this news last week. That's from Brad and Boca.
I was very confused earlier this week while we were talking about this like it was brand new news.
Martin, it might be time to look at a nursing home. That's from Doug's Grease Missile. Daddy Likey said, wait always 5 minutes, guys. Great radio. Both of you are confused.
Leave us alone.
Got it. Awesome.
There's no such thing as wasted time.
The hell's going on here? Did you guys start drinking? Heiser House hooligan.
I'm thinking about that banana cream pie.
I bet that sits good on the stomach for the 2-hour drive between Kingdom City and St. Louis.
Well, when you have a burger first, then you wash it down with the banana cream pie, hopefully with some vanilla wafers.
Jackson, you're not dreaming, but you're dreamy. How about that?
Thank you.
Garth Butcher's Sweaty Undercarriage.
That was Frank Cusimano-esque where you started reading it and then had to finish the job.
Doug's work husband. All right, let's hear some Frank. We had a Charlie little run on drops. Now it's time for former colleague and teammate Frank Cusimano, who would read just the text line and be a little horrified.
Is this Lexington Steel? Wow, that's good. Is that a Doug reference? Shrubs. I'm about to get paid in the Escalade. Quit sending us naked video of males, okay? It matters. It matters. Frank, would you say this statement is accurate? Doug Vaughn, big ego, small Johnson.
All right, knock it off.
Come here, big fella. Frank, do you like chocolate bunnies? Jim the Cat Hayes having action with Doug Vaughn.
Oh, there we go.
God. Did Frank ever answer the chocolate bunnies question?
I would imagine yes. Who doesn't like you like them hollow, Doug? A hollow chocolate bunny or one that's solid? Yeah, break your teeth in half.
Jackson does a really good job trying to keep this show on the rails. Martin may have actually had that stroke that he referred to earlier. That's from Tim's offshore bookie.
Go back, listen to the audio of your live read, and you did say Tower the Shoves.
Like Scoop to Nuts, Doug, the old Central Hardware. Now
We've got it all from Scoop to Nuts at Central Hardware.
Papers, where are you drinking this weekend? I'm at the lake as well. That's from Grady.
I'm at the lake. I don't know yet. Should be a good weekend.
But you're not at the lake.
I won't be at any lakes. Well, maybe Sunday could do like not Lake of the Ozarks, but more local lake.
What other lake? Creve Coeur Lake?
No, different lake.
What other lake?
Why are you so curious?
I want to see if you can come up with the name of one other lake.
Yes, I know the lake that I might be going to on Sunday.
In the St. Louis area?
Serious?
Yeah, St. Louis-ish.
Mark Twain Lake.
I was going to say that.
No, it's a small lake. Not a bad guess.
It's a pub.
Carlisle.
No, not a bad guess. That is too big.
What is this lake?
No.
Which direction is it?
East.
It's in Illinois.
Yeah.
And it's not Lake Carlisle.
It might be. I might be going. I don't know.
Why can't you tell? You think there's paparazzi's going to follow you if you go to this lake?
Governor Bond out there in Greenville.
Governor Bond Lake?
Yeah, see, now look. Now you're
never heard of it.
I answer your
question. What are you doing going there?
I answer the question, and it's not good enough for you.
Governor Bond Lake. I've not heard of that.
Really?
So you're fishing?
No.
You're skiing?
Maybe tubing.
Okay.
I don't know. That's a possibility on Sunday.
It's amazing how often the hosts on this show are confused. It reminds me how Dennis Gates will feel when opposing coaches make a halftime adjustment. Now, that's not nice. That's from the St. Charles Hermaphrodite.
Mm-hmm. He likes to come after me.
Okay.
Chairman Kurt's in the Michelob Ultra YouTube chat.
Really? From
Hi,
California?
Chairman. Maybe he's on his flight. All right, we got a break.
All right, we do. I know. I was scanning the text line, and I just can't figure out what they even mean.
You're sunbathing out here when there's work to be done.
Our guy who wrote the book, 50 Forgotten Cardinals, he's going to stop by. Friends like to stop by the show. It is TMA, The Morning After on 101 ESPN.
At Michael's Bath, they create elevated bathroom spaces that blend luxury, comfort, and smart design, all tailored to the way you live. From sleek tub to shower conversions to full high-end bathroom remodels, including paint and electrical, Michael's handles every detail. And now at Michael's Baths, they're offering a new premium wall option designed to bring a custom spa-like look to your home. With 30 years of experience, all 5-star reviews, an A+ rating with the Better Business Bureau, and VA recommended, Michael's Baths delivers craftsmanship you can trust without gimmicks or high-pressure sales. This isn't a temporary fix or a quick cover-up. It's a complete transformation built to last and built to add value to your home. At michaelsbaths.com or call 636-775-0800 and ask about financing options, including 0% interest upon approval. Michael's Baths, family-owned, insured, and where everyday bathrooms become something exceptional.
Doug, where do we go from here?
I don't. It feels like we've covered most things.
We've been accused of being off the rails, and we try to provide quality program, and we've got a dossier, the polosplus.com dossier. We've got Jackson running a tight ship, and here we are in a segment where Dan Janson is on hold. Dan Janson, friend of the show, and I have a feeling I know what he has in mind. Dan, welcome to the show.
Good morning, guys.
How are we doing?
Of course, you know, you've been... Martin, Doug.
Yes.
Hey, okay, Jackson, I've got 2 tickets for you tonight. Very, very nice seats, right behind home plate.
Wow.
You can bring whoever you want. Don't care if you want to hang out. I'm just bringing a friend that's a fanatic baseball fan that appreciates Cards Cubs. Probably not staying for the concert afterwards. So if you're interested, you can shoot me up. If not, do it another time.
Sounds good. It's very kind.
Offer.
It's really just it's what it is kind.
Are these green seats?
They're right behind the green seats.
Oh, nice.
Talking a little 150, 151,
right.
Doug.
So the best seats in the house.
Yeah.
149.
149. See, we're right there.
Yeah, but I don't want to give the exact seats because people are going to be coming up asking for Jackson's autograph all night.
Yeah, well, that's true.
Or they may just say, boy, we've heard this Dan. We need to meet Dan once and for all. That may be part of the equation as well.
They don't know what I look like.
Oh, but they might try and figure it out. Okay, well,
they know you have a body like Martin.
Yeah, that was disclosed. What a humble brag
That's
that
a good
is,
start.
Doug.
Mm-hmm.
Gosh. Well, Dan, that's a wonderful offer, and I feel bad for all the terrible things that Jackson and Doug have ever said about you. I would never say anything like that.
Unfortunately, tonight is not my night.
No.
Tomorrow, I want to go tomorrow night.
Oh, look at this guy, Doug.
No, it's just it's not that I don't appreciate the sentiment and the offer. It's very incredibly kind, really. It's just it might not work out this time, but that doesn't change the fact that I'm incredibly appreciative.
Okay, you're welcome.
I tried, Martin.
Okay.
No problem. I understand. It's late notice.
It's all good. Yeah.
So, cool. All right.
All right. Okay. Well, thank you, Dan. Have a great time. You're not staying for Jordan Davis, it sounds like.
No, I'm not. And I told you I've been out to tarps off. I don't think I'm going out there tonight.
Well, they moved it to the right field bleachers, Doug. I don't know if you've heard that.
Yeah,
That's
I heard
the new
something
section
like that.
for it.
Did you do the tarps off thing?
Yes, with his son.
Oh,
Yeah.
I'll be darned.
Yes.
Okay. And it was fun, no doubt.
It's very cool. You should take Nick Vaughn out there.
Well, I don't know that I need to go topless at Busch Stadium.
It's fun.
Question from the text line: will there be tarps off in section 149?
No.
Okay.
All right. Well, anything else you need to get off your chest?
Daddy Likey says, "I'll go with you, Dan. I'll take this."
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
A lot of offers to join you tonight on the text line.
Yeah, I'm sure Jugs in D.C. and Buck Swope can be my club
no, Jay
too.
Fresh, Daddy Likey.
You could probably sell those for $100 or so.
Not the way we do things.
Oh,
yeah,
sorry.
Doug, not the way we do things.
How would I?
Scolded.
Would I have known?
I kind of like that. More offers to join Dan at the blog. All right, well, Dan, let us know if you'd like us to fill out your roster because we have a lot of candidates here on the text line. That would be something.
I'll let you know.
All right. Thank you, Dan.
Thanks, guys.
Dan Janson,
Well, all right,
friend of the
Dan.
show, checking in with us. That's what Marlins man would do. He came into St. Louis with this story on him. He bought like 20 tickets and just gave them away, but the rule was you had to be one person, like a single person going.
Oh, really?
And he wanted people to become friends. You know, like
That's
instead
nice.
of bringing like, hey, Marlins man, give me 6 seats. My buddies and I will take them. He wanted all these individuals to kind of come together.
That's a cool
Like
idea.
a little bit of a social experiment, I would say. All right, our author of the book, 50 Forgotten Cardinals, Will Saulsbery, in the house when we come back. TMA in the 9 o'clock hour, brought to you by
Mark Hanna.
Yeah.
That's our guy, Mark Hanna, Evergreen Wealth Strategies. And, yeah. And
Now would be the time you have to leave her.
Well, if there was a Mark Hanna live read today, I would.
There
but
was.
there
I
isn't.
didn't know what you had. I didn't know what you had cooking over there, pal.
Well, I do have something cooking.
What do you got cooking?
When it gets a little hot, your AC might start cooking. Maybe cooking too hot, too cold. Doesn't matter. Design Air Heating and Cooling can take care of it.
Design Air Heating and Cooling is online at designairservice.com. That is Seth Goldcamp and his team at Design Air Heating and Cooling, the longest running sponsor on the Morning After, going back a decade. Design Air Heating and Cooling. And right now, they have something for TMA listeners, and that's maintenance agreements. They are effective and convenient ways to keep your system running all year long, year after year after year. They take the pressure off you as a homeowner. Design Air contacts you to schedule your air conditioning tune-up and your furnace safety inspection and cleaning. You sign up, and you can forget about it. Like all their services, maintenance visits can be scheduled at designairservice.com. That's Design Air Heating and Cooling, online at designairservice.com.
All right, time for a break. It is TMA on 101 ESPN. Friday edition of TMA. It's Martin, it's Doug, it's Jackson with you in the 101 studios here, 9 o'clock hour, powered by Mark Hanna, Evergreen Wealth Strategies. And in the house, Will Saulsbery is the guest. He's the author, 50 Forgotten Cardinals.
Okay. All right. Haven't had a round of applause in a while.
Well, there's one.
And there's a connection, too, because the book that you wrote has a mention, an endorsement from Bob Costas, who was on this show about an hour ago. And I love the backstory. Will, tell me. You got Tony La Russa to also write an intro, a support of the book. But he had to be sold on the idea, correct?
Oh, yeah. You know, Tony's can be a bit intense, and you're not allowed to call him Mr. La Russa. It's only Tony.
Oh, yeah.
And so Jay Delson, our mutual friend, introduced, said, hey, Tony, blah, 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 gave me a ringing endorsement. And he said, Tony wants to talk to you. So I text Tony, set my phone down. About 4 seconds later, it rings, and he grilled me for a few minutes. But then, I got, once he realized I was, genuine and earnest in what I was writing, he was good with it. So, yeah.
He thought you might be taking shots at people? Or what?
Because the Cardinals are a big name, and he's very protective of the franchise, and I think he wanted to make sure I was on the up and up. So,
So what is the common theme of the players that you've profiled here?
Well, they needed a few things. They needed to be pretty good or have a really good nickname or just a really good name and somebody that maybe time is forgotten that people don't discuss as much as they should. And, the nicknames, Icebox Chamberlain, Vinegar Bin Mizell, that really helps your case.
Mm-hmm. Vinegar Bin. How did he get the name Vinegar Bin?
He was from near Vinegar Bend, Arkansas.
Oh, really?
And that's the name of a town, apparently.
Huh.
What about Icebox Chamberlain? What was it? Do we know the origin there?
His austere calm in the face of adversity. So they called him Icebox.
Wow, it was way before George Gervin, I gather.
Oh, yeah, the Iceman? Yeah, way back in the day. So Icebox was one of those guys, he'd throw you 450 innings a year, really take the pressure off your bullpen.
How about Homer Doc Smoot?
Your name's already Homer, and you take the nickname Doc. I'm like, just be greedy, man. Save something for the rest of us.
Right. He already had Homer. So what was the process then? Because I bet you could get to 1,000 of these.
Oh, yeah. I spent way too much time on Baseball Reference. Learned about Icebox Chamberlain. I thought this could be a book of just guys like this.
Yeah.
Icebox, Bugs Raymond, Slim Sally, crazy names like that. And it took me probably over the course of a year to write it and then another 6 months to get it published and out.
You could probably do another one on guys who weren't Cardinals that had great nicknames.
Oh, yes. The former names in baseball, in every sport, they've gone by the wayside, but yeah. So many great names.
Yeah.
The Round Mound of Rebound. Come on.
Oh, I like that.
Yes.
Got Rip Rapolsky. I will have to tell you, I didn't know that name as far as Cardinals, but there are others like a Ryan Ludwig, and these are not necessarily forgotten in the traditional sense or that they were random or meaningless, but maybe overlooked in a sense.
Yeah, the 2007 Ryan Ludwig, 2008, I'd put him up against anybody, man. That guy could just flat out hit, played a great right field. Fantastic goatee. Goatee's also gone by the wayside, but yeah.
Greg Jeffries is another one. Good player, but kind of here when the Cardinals weren't so good.
Yeah, I always say the extra G's for grit.
Is that
he
what
had those 2 really good years, and he wanted the no trade. They didn't want to give it to him, and he goes to Philly. Never quite the same. And that's one of those, hey, if we had signed Greg Jeffries, would we have traded for Mark McGwire if Jeffries was still producing? It's one of those cool what-ifs to go through with some of these guys that had those great flashes with us.
Mm-hmm.
And in a bold move, you included Ernie Broglio, famously in the Lou Brock trade.
I will die on that hill. People didn't forget Ernie Broglio. They forgot he was great. I put his stats in there to start a career. He was one of the 3 or 4 best pitchers through that point of a career in Cardinals history. And then I think it was 1962, he got 21 cortisone shots in his arm.
Oh.
Because, it's 1960.
Probably not a good idea.
Yeah. And then his arm went, and back then when arms went, they kind of stayed gone. But just I make my case that he was a great Cardinal, and people forgot that about him.
Yeah.
You even point out he should have won the 1960 Cy Young. But you're right, he became like a punchline because Brock was so good, and it was a steal of a trade.
I mean, yes, the trade was worked out for us, and we were better with Brock than Broglio, but you can't, I don't like that he's just a punchline. He was a great ball player.
Cortisone shots did him in. Knees were that way too. A Mickey Mantle knee injury, that he'd probably missed a year and then he'd been back as good as new.
Yeah, Gale Sayers, stuff like that. They just throw some catgut in there and be like, get back out there, buddy.
Yeah.
And some are recently, like Whitey Kurowski, recently went into the Cardinals Hall of Fame. I think in their veteran side, they've done, I know for a fact, they've done some vetting on like players that were kind of overlooked back in the day. Do you hear from families and some of these folks who have been passed for a long time Do you hope to hear from some of
I
his
hope
family?
to. I've had conversations with Ozzie Canseco, who's in here, number 45 in the book. He's a great guy, very appreciative that he's in there. Rich Nye, I had a connection with when I was a kid. He pitched here for a little bit in the 60s. And I love that. I want to get it in the hands of as many of these guys as possible. I've tried to go back and forth with Felix Jose. He has a very interesting Instagram presence. Check it out.
Really?
He'll say, yes,
Is it
send me a
safe
book.
at work?
I mean, I'd say have it on your cell phone, not on your laptop.
Felix Jose.
Felix Jose.
Papers, do you follow him on Instagram?
I will now.
I will now.
I have never seen Jackson in person, and that hair is magnificent.
Oh,
Thanks,
see?
Will.
Oh, my
Thank you, Will.
God.
It's really nice of you.
You and
Appreciate
Doug
that.
in here. I know Martin texted me. He's like, Will, we need a guy under 6 foot who's bald. Tim's out. So I came in a pinch.
Yeah, box to check.
Yeah.
Jackson almost has a pompadour look, doesn't
Yeah, a
he?
little quaff.
Oh, man, you could be a senator with that. That is fantastic.
Thank you so much, man. I appreciate
And
that.
haven't you and Ozzie you kind of connected over this whole process, correct?
He now runs a real estate company in Las Vegas because, of course, he still does a lot of goofy stuff with his brother, home run contest, signing, things like that. Just a great dude. Sounds exactly like his brother on the phone.
I thought
What
it
do
was
you play
hard.
here, like 20, 30 games or something?
It had to be
like that.
hard to be a twin. Your twin is a superstar,
Yeah.
and you're barely hanging on just to be in the major.
I know it's like you make it to the major league just means you're one of the 1% best baseball players on the planet, but
Yeah.
still it's like, well, as if his name was like, Ozzie Johnson, you're like, this is good for him, but
Right.
it's Ozzie
I would just
Canseco.
think he'd be extremely jealous of the twin. You'd think they'd have the same abilities.
Yeah,
Not the case at
Well,
all.
Ozzie started as a pitcher in the minor leagues. He could throw, man. He had a
Yeah.
couple complete game shutouts, but they tried to bring him up as a hitter, and he made it to the big leagues.
Yeah, he did.
So,
Oh, yeah.
you know,
Yeah, he was
hey.
good. Yeah.
Hector Luna, Mike Tyson, Mike Laga. I mean, if you open this can of worms, you could just. Cardinal fans have a
Is
deep.
there a name that's coming up a lot that we need to give justice to? Because I know your listeners are very, very involved in the show.
Oh, weird.
Oh, I didn't say
Involved.
weird. I
Oh,
think
I'm sorry. I thought you were
my
going there.
good friend Mike Burke turned me on to this show.
Oh, yeah?
He's an avid listener, and he's like, Martin and Doug, I love these guys. He, like me, saw Doug Vaughn in the wild at one point.
In the wild?
Yeah, I saw you in downtown Kirkwood like a month ago.
Oh.
I did. The autograph line was pretty long.
I'm
but
sure it was
You're
long.
with your lovely wife,
Yeah.
and as a fellow man who's outkicked his coverage, well done.
Oh, thank you. Very, very nice of you. Hey, here's a good name.
Pedro Guerrero, Jeff Lottie, Sugar Bear Floyd Rayford, Andres Galarraga.
Andres Galarraga's in the book.
He is in the book.
El Gato Grande.
So
yes.
is Dick Crow, one of my favorites when I was a wee little kid.
Oh, what an athlete.
Incredible basketball player. Played in the NBA. And
Yeah, he was second in the nation in scoring at the NCAA.
23 points a game at Duke.
Just
before the three-point line, obviously.
Yeah, I didn't
and
know
then
that
MVP
about
in
him.
baseball.
Yeah, the only player to be drafted in the NBA, play in the NBA, and also win MLB MVP.
And bald as a player.
Hey.
Follicle challenged.
Hey, nothing wrong with that. Bald is beautiful.
You don't see a lot of guys in their 20's and early 30's.
Well, you do if you look back through my
now they
profile
shave it.
pics on
They
Facebook.
shave
you
it
see
now.
one.
But I
Yeah.
mean, they shave it now. But it kind of stood out at the time. Maybe it did just because I was a little kid. I thought, wait a minute, that guy's got no hair.
He's a picture of guys in their 20s in the 1950s. They look like guys who are 45 now.
Oh, yeah.
It's insane.
Have you ever seen pictures of old hockey players? I mean, they look like World War I veterans. And you know, they had to be 25 years old. Game was taking its toll.
Oh, yes.
Tommy Pham got a vote. He's a little recent, I would
Everyone
say.
knows Tommy Pham.
And he's very prominent, just his persona, I would
Yes.
say. Pedro Guerrero. I mean, it just really is endless in terms of, did you yourself have 70 to 80 to 100? Had to whittle it down.
I had like 45, and then my buddy Dave Burke, I was like, hey, Dave, I need help. And he helped me fill out the last
Is he
5 or
related to
6.
Mike Burke?
Yeah, they're brothers.
Okay.
We grew up together. Mike Burke, one of the
I'm
finest
trying to
pitchers,
listen more
St.
closely
Francis
since
Borgia.
apparently I've missed a lot of segments on the show that I was part of.
I mean, I got in the tub shower this morning. What was it?
Oh,
Before
no.
I came down here?
Tub
The
shower.
Shub Tower. That's called a callback.
Kind of hard to shake that one.
Yeah, so I got it to 50 with some great names, some great guys. Just wanted to tell stories, and a few hit the cutting room floor, but we could do a after hours segment on the guys that didn't make it, of course.
And then Bob Costas, friend of this show, described it as what?
Appreciative and goofy. Which was very nice. And you guys just talked to Bob, and I've been going back and forth with him. Everyone at home, he's exactly like that in email, too. Incredibly enthusiastic, so nice. So he's exactly how you want him to be, isn't he?
Oh, yeah.
He's always
one
on.
of a kind.
I would say
Yes.
always on.
Yeah. I'd forgotten that Bobby Bonds played for the Cardinals.
So did I. I was like, Bobby Bonds played here?
Yeah.
One okay year. I guess him and Whitey didn't get on very well.
Oh, yeah.
So I think
shipped him alone.
Yeah, so then, he played, I think he left
Was that
here.
the problem with Richie Allen, too? Dick Allen now, I guess they call him.
Yeah.
Because he was right in his prime when they had him. He had a big year here, and then they traded him.
Huge year, and then I guess he didn't come back from injury quick enough or something along those lines. A lot of these guys were shipped off, and then they go on to win Cy Youngs or MVPs or all these other things after they leave.
Steve Carlton and Jerry Royce. And
Who have you, Ozzie for sure, Canseco, who have you been able to correspond with? I'm curious.
Just Rich 9, Ozzie Canseco. I got a bunch of feelers. Felix Jose a little bit, but he'll send me something back in Spanish that I have to have translated, and I'm not quite sure if someone's running his Instagram or it's him. Because I just got a video message from him in Spanish that was nothing about what I messaged him, which is great. I'm like, hey, Felix Jose. I think he's still hitting in some kind of league. But yeah, that's it. Anybody has contacts to any of these guys, just let me know. I'd love to get them a book.
And some of these are relievers of recent memory, like Pat Neshek, Edward Mujica, who were really good just for like a minute.
Yeah, Neshek had I think I put him there. He was utterly unhittable for about 3.5 months that one summer. And I don't know how his arm didn't fly off every time he delivered a pitch.
Yeah.
It was so weird. And yeah, Edward Mujica, that team, I think that was 2013. What a run. Or no, it was 11, something like that. But yeah, just insane numbers. And then it's 1 year and they're gone. But Tony, Matheny, those guys really knew how to use a bullpen and maximize these guys. And you see that when they leave. They're never quite as effective.
I'm old enough to remember the year that Bugs Raymond had in 1908.
Bugs Raymond.
Why did they call him Bugs?
Oh, I don't know. But one of the greatest personalities in this book, on occasion, he would walk to and from the mound on his hands. Not his hands and knees, his hands.
From the dugout?
Yeah. And can you imagine him walking off the mound on his hands and La Russa's at the top step? Like, just like this, that.
Why would you do that?
I don't know. Yeah, he passed away shortly after multiple bar fights in 1 week.
Oh.
So he was him and Slim Sally, I think, may have drank the most. I think, back when you threw 450 innings and ibuprofen isn't invented yet, there's probably a correlation there.
They must have just been like throwing batting practice fastballs.
I mean,
you couldn't possibly throw maximum effort pitches. And pitch as much as those guys did.
I'm guessing the strike zone was a little more loose.
Yeah,
before,
and the ball not as hard, so you probably didn't mind if they hit it.
Yeah, I mean, not a lot of comebackers coming at you. But yeah, Slim Sally's the one. He disappeared for 2 weeks during August to be a deckhand on the Mississippi. In the middle of the pennant race.
Disappeared for a couple of weeks.
That probably paid better.
Yeah, he vanished another time and they couldn't find him anywhere. Yeah. And he was 2 blocks from Sportsman's Park at a, quote, establishment.
What kind of establishment?
I would just say where gentlemen of leisure go to enjoy themselves in their downtime.
It was not the Herbert Hoover's Boys Club.
No, definitely not that. No.
Guys, Bo Hart, Brian Barton, who is the Rockets.
Barton, that's
there was
good
Brian
one.
Barton and then Brian Barton, who was a rocket scientist. Maybe he had gone to Stanford or something.
Oh, Bo Hart, I think everyone kind of remembers. He comes up every
almost in a
September.
kitschy way. He's the favorite forgotten player, so therefore he's not forgotten.
Because he looked like a kid that lived next door to you. He didn't look like a professional athlete.
Chuck Finley, Kurt Ford, Nelson Browse. You could write another book. Sugar Shane Robinson.
Sugar Shane.
Alan Bennis, So Taguchi, Chris Sabo. Did Sabo play?
Yeah, he played in a cup of coffee here.
Oh, really?
I got some votes. People wanted Gary Gaetti, the rat, in here, and I was like, come on.
Yeah.
Everybody remembers Gaetti, old number 8.
Sixto Liscano. Great name.
There's so many great
Prominent
names.
as a brewer, of course. Jeremy Hazelbaker.
Oh, Hazel Baker.
Gerald Laird. That's really Adron Chambers.
It's amazing how quickly these guys that we followed and rooted for so passionately, 2 years later we hear their name and we start laughing.
I just like Brett Wallace. I remember no one wanted to give up Brett Wallace for Matt Holliday, and yeah, remember that trade?
Well, he couldn't throw.
Yeah, it's just
he couldn't throw. I happened to be down there before a Cardinal game once, and they were talking about moving him to play third base, and so during batting practice, they were working him out to see if he could handle third base. Someone was hitting ground balls to him, and I saw Tony La Russa, and La Russa just started looking around like, what? Someone thinks this guy can play. He couldn't throw.
Yeah, that's important when you're playing third.
Oh, yeah. Yeah,
Will is the man, Iceman softball team legend. That's from Bono.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Bano.
Iceman.
Excuse me.
We terrorized the Sunset Hills
U2's
softball
lead
league.
singer is also texting, but this is Bano. Says, are you the Iceman softball team legend?
Yes. Wow. I was hoping that wouldn't come up. It's part of my past that I'm glad there wasn't social media for. But yes, the greatest softball team in the history of St. Louis.
Greatest softball team. Okay.
And that's in Sunset Hills?
Yeah, we dominated the Sunset Hills League for a few years. They're still out there. I had to retire after an embarrassing couple days at the ballpark.
What happened?
I just couldn't do it anymore. Like John Elway, physically, I couldn't do it anymore.
Yeah.
Just missing ground balls. Ground balls, Doug. I booted 2 ground balls
keep
in
your
one
head
game.
down.
I know. And I was like, I can't do it anymore.
Ground balls are not easy in softball because usually they're hit very hard.
Yes.
And they're not very far away from you when they leave the bat.
Unfortunately, I wish that was the case in this.
You just blew it.
Just, started looking to third too quick.
Yeah.
Just basic rookie stuff. But yeah, go Iceman.
Todd Wellemeyer, who's a friend of this show, I
Good
believe.
one. The shoulders on that guy. He was wider than a boxcar, man.
And really a random, kind of an oddball, which was, didn't he befriend you guys, Doug?
Yeah, he was on our show a few times, I think, wasn't he?
The Tedalian.
Yeah,
was his
that's
name.
right.
Self-named, I believe, right?
Yeah, the Tedalian.
I like how you said he's an oddball. Made friends with you, right, Doug?
Guys, I grew up with Will. He's good people. They don't make guys like him anymore. Talented author, also a talented singer-songwriter.
Oh, you're a singer, are you?
Thank you. Your $20 is in the mail.
That's from Lonely in Londell.
Where do you sing?
Londell, Missouri. Oh, R14. Let's go Bobcats. I used to sing a lot. We played a lot at the Duck Room, different places around town.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. Rock and roll band.
So you're a warbler.
Yes, I was. I could sing like a bird.
Oh, wow.
I could see you on a dueling piano. You kind of have that
little-
like upbeat vibe. Kinda.
Yeah. Why? I got to be positive. We
Like to
have
work the
guys to
room.
be negative about baseball. We got guys for that. We're the positive crew here.
Pat Hankin, Tom Bernansky, Johnny Lowe,
Yes.
John Rodriguez.
Bernansky's a good one. The
Felipe-
mustache on that guy. One of the
Felipe
last great
Lopez,
mustaches.
Miguel Mejia. I mean, it is endless. The book is called 50 Forgotten Cardinals, written by Will Saulsbery, and a little mention and a foreword from Tony La Russa, notes from Bob Costas, Dan McLaughlin, Bill DeWitt III, all appreciative of the deep dive that Will has done with some fun facts and photos of each in the book. And always the easiest question, where do they find it?
Just go to your Google machine, type in 50 Forgotten Cardinals. You'll find it, or find me on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. Martin and I are good Twitter buddies, so you'll find me on there. And yeah, just get the book. If you buy it directly from me, you'll get it autographed. It depreciates immediately, but you'll have it. And hey, Father's Day is coming up. And for you dads in the room, perfect gift. Perfect gift.
It is, because they're kind of short story. You don't sit there for 2 hours if you don't have
No,
it.
there's nothing more satisfying than a short chapter when you're reading. You're like, honey, I read 7 chapters today. She doesn't know it's 11 pages.
No.
My dad used to say, give me the Reader's Digest version, whatever the story was.
Yes.
This is the Reader's that you just sit and read. Oh, okay, now I know all I need to know about Cleveland, Grover Cleveland, Alexander. I didn't know this about Slim Sally or Bugs Raymond. It's
Slim
all-
Sally will probably, knowing your text inbox here, Slim Sally's probably going to be everyone's favorite.
And what is this sweatshirt you're wearing over there?
It says Langford, Jordan, and Gilkey. Greatest outfield in the history of Major League Baseball, friends.
Cut it out.
Ray Langford is my childhood hero.
Oh, really?
So I'll die on that hill.
What is the greatest outfield ever?
Ever? Oof. I mean, in St. Louis history?
Well, maybe just in baseball history.
God, it's got to have something with
Babe Ruth somewhere.
Yeah, Ruth's and Wright. I don't know. Hank Aaron and a couple of them. Henry Aaron, I should say.
But I mean, they've actually played together.
Well, that Red Sox, remember when they had Jim Rice, Dewey Evans, Fred Lynn?
What about when Mantle and DiMaggio were both in the outfield?
Yeah, for that one. Was that 51? That's pretty good. That's when Mickey popped his knee.
Looks like ESPN ranks the top 10 outfields number 1. The 1961 New York Yankees with Roger Maris, Mickey Mantle, and Yogi Berra.
That's pretty
He's
good.
in the outfield, huh, Yogi?
They
Left
also have
field.
The
That's about
95
150 combined home runs that year. That's not
95 Indians, which had Albert Bell, Kenny Lofton, and Manny Ramirez.
Oh,
that's good.
I would not want to face that.
And then they
as
have
an opposing pitcher.
At number 4, they have Detroit Tigers, Ty Cobb, and others.
Tris Speaker, would he have been
I
on?
think they're a little different. I think Tris Speaker was a little later.
Was he later?
Yeah, I think Sam Crawford is who they
Tyrus Raymond.
Okay.
And then 63 Giants, Willie McCovey, Willie Mays, and Felipe Alou.
What's the greatest Cardinals outfield of all time, Doug?
Man, it wouldn't be.
Is it Edmund, Sanders, and Walker?
Brock Flood and Maris?
Ooh, that's pretty good. That's 67. Was 67 team? Nothing's dropping in that
did
outfield.
Holiday play with Edmonds? Were they ever
No, Holiday was a couple years after Edmonds, a year and a half after Edmonds is gone. But
I mean,
the Walker,
Langford,
you said
Gant, and
Walker,
Jordan is pretty good.
but
yeah,
Larry Walker, Jim Edmonds, and then Sanders and left. That's just, it's unbelievable. That Sanders was almost like
that's
a
14 combined Gold Gloves. That's pretty good. Don't go to right field.
What about Bonds, Bonilla, Van Slyke?
Yeah, that's ranked number
pretty
6.
good.
That's ranked number 6.
Pre-inflated head bonds.
Number 8 is really good. Andrew Jones, Chipper Jones, Gary Sheffield, 0-2 Braves.
Ooh, not defensively. You got
Not gonna
Andrew.
be there,
That's
yeah.
about. But yeah, offensively, yeah.
I remember the 1966 All-Star game played here in St. Louis. The National League's outfield was Willie Mays, Hank Aaron, and Roberto Clemente.
Yeah, that's
pretty good.
I don't even know if you could organize
That's
it
it.
better.
That's the list.
Yeah.
Henry Aaron, man. Tragically underrated.
What about Church, Scott, and Walker?
Yeah.
I mean, that's up there. That's got to be in the top 1,000, I think.
Oh, somebody said
About
Kenny
where it'd
Reitz.
be.
Kenny Reitz is in the book, by the
Yeah,
way.
he's in
Somebody
the Reeds.
suggested
Yeah.
it.
Oh, yeah. The Zamboni. You kidding me? How he only won one Gold Glove is beyond me. He leads the league in fielding percentage like 6 straight years, and he only gets one.
Was it Schmidt winning them all the
Yep,
time? Is
probably.
that why?
Yeah.
Probably.
Yeah, Mike Schmidt. Did the offense. That's why Langford lost a couple Gold Gloves. The offense wasn't as good as somebody
Yeah.
else's.
For a long time, the Gold Glove just seemed to go to the best overall player there.
Remember
Not
Rafael Palmeiro won it one year, and he played like 30 games at first base.
he was a DH.
Yeah.
Marcelo Ozuna, former Gold Glove winner,
Somehow.
last seen
Yes.
climbing the wall at Busch Stadium.
Tough one.
That weird, the throw where his elbow didn't bend.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He threw like a 4-year-old. It was weird.
Really, yeah.
Gold
you're
Glove
like,
outfielder.
Right.
Yes.
Like,
The
you
book,
played baseball?
50 Forgotten Cardinals. The author, Will Saulsbery, with us. Check out this book. It's a lot of fun. Will, thanks for stopping by.
Thank you guys for
Thanks,
having me. This
Will.
is huge. I appreciate you so much. Thank you.
All right, that is Will Saulsbery with us here in studio. I sent out the Soup siren. Soup will join us. Not a Forgotten Cardinal. Friend of the show, Jeff Suppan. He's not driving carpool, right? Summer? Kids are out? I said, what's up? He said, what do you mean what's up? It's like, call in what's up, or you want to know really how I'm doing? And I'm like, we'll clarify. TMA brought to you by Brown and Cooper.
Well, over the last month or so, I have been working with Ryan Luchtefeld at Delmar Mortgage. Ryan gives out his personal number to our audience members, so you can work with him as well if you are looking to buy a home, get pre-approved, or refinance. That number is 618-593-3608, 618-593-3608. Ryan's been doing it for 22 years in the mortgage industry, and he's been with Delmar Mortgage for 13 years. Delmar Mortgage has been in business for 60 years, and they are family-owned and operated. Ryan Luchtefeld can help you out just like he is helping out me and my family. Personal local touch, but with all the necessary technology to make the process smooth and easy. Pre-approvals and fast-track options that will make your offer stick out to local sellers and listing agents' closings in as little as 2 weeks. That's Ryan Luchtefeld, DelmarMortgage.com, 618-593-3608. That's 618-593-3608.
This is Jackson with a Sports Center update brought to you by Universal Windows Direct. Hurricanes and Canadiens, Game 5, right here on 101 ESPN this evening. Pre-game 6:30, puck drop at 7. That was another Sports Center update brought to you by Universal Windows Direct. You'll be saying, I love my windows.
$10 o'clock hour, it's brought to you by Design Air Heating and Cooling. You can find them online at designairservice.com. They also bring you the email of the day. We've rolled into the 10 o'clock hour. We'll have a little friendship and fellowship with our buddy Jeff Suppan in a little bit. We've already talked to Bob Costas back in the 8 o'clock hour. We got into the MLB discussion between players and owners, trading proposals. It looks like the lockout at this point is still most likely, but at least the conversation has begun. We talked quite a bit about that. And a Cards-Cubs weekend. Shoto Imanaga on the mound, the lefty who's been teed up his last few starts, giving up 15 earned runs last 2 times. Cubs have won a couple in a row after losing 10 in a row. And Papers has already declared this a be careful weekend for the Cardinals. They have lost 7 of their last 9. It's been a fun start to the season. June doesn't arrive till Monday. Gosh, we're still 2 weeks plus from Flag Day. But Cards trying to get back on track. Cubs weekend, all 3 games, night games, all roughly 6 o'clock, 6:15-ish, whatever. On the 2 Fox on Saturday, and whatever this channel, this KSDK thing they're talking about is new in town, is on. They've got the game on Sunday.
New station.
They're new to town.
Low power, probably.
Apparently they've somehow cobbled together a broadcast on Sunday. And a Game 7 in the NBA on Saturday night. Oklahoma City. Somebody earlier wanted Papers' take on the big game. It's San Antonio in a blowout in Game 6, forcing the Game 7. The best words in sports, 2 words, Game 7.
Well, they got to go to Oklahoma City and try to get one more. I don't know. I don't think that the reigning champs will be stifled. I think that they pull through in Game 7.
I almost feel like some of these teams just say, all right, we'll let them have this one. It just feels like they shut it down.
Especially with a guy like Wembanyama, there's going to be times where you just are pretty helpless, when he's such a good shot blocker. And then, he had 3 blocks last night, but the amount of shots he affects and the shots that people don't take because they know he's down there is exponential.
Nobody loves Game 7s more than the owners of the teams.
Yeah,
we get another 20,000 in our building?
Yeah. Mark, we're going to do the Design Air Heating and Cooling email a day here, but before we do, can you tell us about Design Air?
Absolutely. Love talking about Design Air, a company that I've worked with. I know the entire Deas has worked with Seth Goldcamp and his team. This family-owned operation, this business has been around for more than a century, and right now there's so much great technology, and that's what I loved about it, how they explain it to you. Not just the new unit that you put into your home, but also how you're changing the quality of your air. Yes, hot and cold, that matters, but quality of air inside your home is also something that you can monitor. Great technology, but really what stands out when you work with Design Air is the team they've put together. All the employees are great, and you can tell they enjoy working there. It is a team. It takes a village, but they've got a great team at Design Air. So get online, designairservice.com, set up an appointment, and while you're there, sign up for a maintenance program. That means you're covered year-round to make sure everything's running properly. It's the simplest way to do it. Get that maintenance program at designairservice.com. Papers, ready to cook, ready to eat.
All right, let's get it rolling.
Okay.
You ready, Doug?
Sure.
Morning, boys. I don't like Dan Janson. I am a Buck Swope Lemming, but this email is for tap water. Doug! I will be able to break you off a little bit. I will be able to slap it, but I won't have time to flip it up and rub it down. Translation, only one of us is going to have a good time, and it's not going to be you. Think about it.
Are any of these being filtered?
I didn't like that.
I think Chairman actually filtered these on the plane.
Are you serious?
Yeah, because I didn't do any of this filtering, and those all came in today. Screw Chuck Todd, fight Cardinal, beat Cub from the Potomac. Jugs in D.C. P.S. Liam Doyle's stat line this year, 0 for 3, 6.4 ERA. Woof.
Is that one email or is that 2 emails?
One email.
That's all from Jugs.
A nice Eastbound and Down reference.
Jugs in D.C.
Sometimes I think it can be a little difficult to string together so many idiotic comments in a row, but the Deep Thoughts with Ken show breaks that glass ceiling. I can't help but think sometimes Iggy isn't actually as committed to the truth as he portrays. But let's offer kudos where it's warranted. ATMA was basically successful in reinventing the landline telephone in just 5 weeks. That's from Shooter McGavin, the vice president of Nonsense Merchants.
Shooter McGavin.
Holy mackerel, this email's long. All right.
Don't read all of it.
Dear Dossier, received a maintenance call from the tenant in Unit 3B, and oh boy, there was a situation. Upon arrival, the first thing I noticed is...
You just burp?
A little bit. Is the whole, I've been drinking a lot of coffee today.
Big breakfast over there?
No, a lot of coffee. The first thing I noticed is a hole the size of a kickball in the screen. Before I can ask, he waves it off. Bird flew in a couple days ago. Still haven't found it, but I enjoy the fresh air. Like we're discussing a misplaced TV remote and not active wildlife situation.
Active wildlife versus a TV remote.
Yeah. In response, he has sealed his other windows with plastic grocery bags and enough tape to qualify as a municipal code violation. The bags are loudly flapping in the wind like they're filing for asylum. He angrily insists they are purposely letting in rain. Then he tells me he forgot where the thermostat was. Asked how he manages the temp, he snaps, "I don't handle it," and points to the oven and freezer and tells me not to mess with his system. Just when I think this couldn't get more bizarre, he drags me over to a vacant unit he has apparently annexed for laundry while the Sparrow holds down his primary residence. Honestly, it's a lateral move for both. He points at the router in the corner like it owes him back rent. Quote, "Internet's broke again," he snarls. I hit with the reset button with the router and blinks a few times like it's stalling, considering whether any of this is worth it. We both stand there like it diffuses itself. Finally, the light goes green. He pulls out his phone, opens Golf Rival, then nods suspiciously. Quote, "Looks like it's working again. Back to my Batwing 6 quest." Ordered a new screen. ETA when the new bird applies for residency. As I'm heading out, I think I've escaped. He barks, "One more thing." I freeze and turn around. He reaches into a drawer and pulls out a glossy photo of himself. No context.
Is this one emo?
No explanation.
This has been filtered?
And uncaps a Sharpie to sign it like the schedule event. "This is for work." Great. I now own an autographed photo of a man engaged in a turf war with a sparrow. Toodles, that's from the TMA Troubadour, purveyor of delectable gas station banana cream pies.
TMA Troubadour.
Oh, was that just the second of all emails?
That was the third.
Sorry to number 2.
Yeah.
Shooter McGavin was number 2.
Sorry.
Yes. Hey, fellas, the Riz Show really nailed it this morning. Thanks. That's from the listener to be named later.
Listener?
I kind of like that.
To be named later.
See what they did there? In other words, they went down the dial, Doug. They weren't happy with us.
And, Doug, you remember Umanga, who won the other day?
Sure he did.
Manga or Mongo?
Umanga. Umanga.
Oh.
They responded to their email, "Hey, do you need help with your back end? Yes/no is fine." That's from Umanga.
Not Mongo.
He got suspended.
Umanga did?
Yes, he
Treble
did.
it?
He's not eligible because he had a 2-day suspension. This would be the second day.
Right.
Umanga.
And that's what we have.
Suspended.
For the design, air heating, and cooling email day. We'll vote and then release this information of the winner, Doug.
Release it like a bird.
At the end of the program. Yeah, Iggy has a bird living in his home.
I swear he's in jail. Everything sounds suspiciously like a jail cell.
And it's like a work release program when he does after the morning.
He's a trustee. He's got an ankle bracelet on. He's not going very far.
Right. I've said he's one anecdote away from being a Shawshank character. I mean, I'm pretty sure he's living...
Like Brooks?
Yes.
Brooks, he had birds, no?
Yes, he did, a little pet bird.
Yeah.
So that's part of it. All right, our buddy Soup, Jeff Suppan on deck. It's TMA on 101 ESPN, brought to you by Brown and Crouppen.
FanDuel is giving you better payouts on same-game parlays all NBA playoffs long. With more ways to build and more value every time you play, you can stack your picks your way for every game, every matchup, and every moment. From spreads to player points to threes and more, build it all into one same-game parlay and go for bigger payouts. So, if you're betting same-game parlays this NBA postseason, bet them on FanDuel. More options, better payouts, all NBA playoffs long. Head to FanDuel.com/local to get started. FanDuel, an official partner of the NBA. Play your game. Must be 21 and older and present in Missouri. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Nothing like.
Did we ever decide if he was like mildly offended or just kind of poking a little fun? That's Chairman Kurt, his handiwork about our buddy Jeff Suppan, who had a streak. And I don't know what did we get to? Papers, was it about 12 days in our 10 or 12 days in a row?
Somewhere in that ballpark.
And then I wasn't here, Soup, so all of a sudden they stopped taking your call, and I would just like to apologize on behalf of Soup Nation.
You're apologizing to me?
Yes, I'm apologizing because, I stepped away a day or two, and next thing I know, Soup wasn't on, and I said today to Jackson, Tim is out. I said to Doug and to Jackson, I said, let's get a Soup update because you don't have to drive carpool. It's summertime. Kids are out, correct?
Well, almost. He's got a few more days left. But, yeah, Jackson did big league. Jackson big leagued me a little bit.
Oh, no.
Yeah, but it was all right. He just said, hey, dude, we are running so behind. He said basically you guys as hosts were taking so long that he couldn't fit me in.
Yeah.
So, it is what it is. It's all good.
I was just simply passing the buck. That's exactly what I was doing.
Yes. No.
God forbid I take any sort of accountability.
Tony liked the hard 9. I think some days we have like the soft 9. We don't hit the brakes and we're just, oh my God.
Martin calls it the parking lot show.
We're up a parking lot show when you're thinking about your car. Like that. No, that's when it's a weekend, like a getaway game. You guys are going to get on a plane. You're going to San Diego. You just got to finish off this little series. It's a noon start.
You got 1 foot in the parking lot.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Hey, but how hard is it to stay on time?
Incredibly.
Believe it or not.
I'm asking. Well, I'm asking for a friend.
Okay. And if management were to call us in after a show and they said, how is it possible? You guys were 15 minutes behind or 10, and then they would go back and listen to what we talked about, hamburger helper and such, they would be appalled.
So you couldn't wrap that up?
Yes.
No. Well.
So what do you got? You got to hit your brakes for the commercials, right? That's how it works.
Sure.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
In theory, we stay on time, but then you get behind, and what are you going to do? All right, so the kids are not out of school. That's late, man. California going late into are we going to go into next week, or just we're still in May, so I guess that it's not June.
Yeah, I think June is look, here's the problem for me, and this has been a problem for quite some time. There's 4 seasons in my life for most of my life, right? There's the off season, there's spring training, the season, postseason, and it just goes like that. So if somebody said, hey, when's Labor Day? I have no idea. When's Memorial Day? I have no idea. We play, through that whole part of the season, right? So it's taken me a while to understand the non-baseball calendar, right? So I'm pretty sure most people get out in June. So graduations are in June. So my son is graduating. I think this Thursday. It's on the calendar somewhere. I do know he's going to Universal Studios on Monday. Okay. So I do know that. My daughter is out of school. She had finals, and she's done. She's done.
What happened with the softball? This is Finley's softball season. What ended up happening there?
Well, I'll tell you what. She finished 14-2. She won the Mission League Pitcher of the Year, which is pretty impressive. They were a very good team. They got moved from Division III to Division I, which is a huge jump. and they lost their first playoff game. But overall, it was a great year, and I don't know what they finished like record-wise, but I mean, she had a great year, and I'm happy for her. She worked hard, and now they get ready for the summer season. I mean, these kids now, there are no breaks. It's unbelievable. I mean, I was thinking about myself. Like, I love baseball because I couldn't play it for a lot of months. You know what I mean? And it's like you almost for this youth group this age where they're young. I mean, you got to keep the love because I mean they played so many games. It's unbelievable.
Would you have wanted to play year round if you could have? I think I would have.
I think I would have. I mean, because I played basketball, flag football. I played Pop Warner, which is tackle football once, and I just knew that I liked baseball a lot more. And football, I was a big kid, but I was a kid trying not to get hit. You know, in basketball, I was too slow. You know, I did play 1 year of volleyball, but. I love baseball. I knew I was better at that than anything else, and I would have probably played all year round. But, you know, I became not a pitcher only because I hit, but I played pitcher and first base. But if I had to pitch like all these games, I don't know if I would have made it. I mean, I haven't had surgery yet. I threw probably close to, in my whole life, as far as minor leagues and big leagues, probably 3,000 innings, I think, but I haven't had a surgery yet. One of my old athletic trainers for the Royals, Nick Swartz, I said, hey, Nick, I go, you think I'll ever have to have surgery? He said, book it. And so I'm waiting for that moment, but so far, so good.
That's almost impossible. As long as you played, as many injuries that pop up, especially for pitchers, no, sir. What's the worst injury you ever had?
I tore an oblique, and I made it back. I think I made it back in 45 days. But I think I've always asked all the trainers that I know, I go, can you just look it up? Can you just find out actually how much DL time I had? I mean, because I think I probably had 4 months of DL, maybe. In my 19 seasons in the major or 17 seasons in the major leagues, and then I probably played a total of 20 seasons, you know, including the minor leagues. I think I only missed 4 months.
How did you do that? Is that the proper training and diet, or just luck of the draw, good genes, or what makes one guy healthy all the time and somebody else gets hurt all the time?
Well, you know what? I had the old adage, you can't pull fat.
Oh, that's good.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I do think that I was blessed with being healthy. I think I repeated my delivery. My kids squat more than I ever squatted when I was playing. So I didn't lift heavy, but I was consistent. I did all my arm weights consistently twice a week. I lifted twice a week. I ran. I didn't miss workouts, but I didn't lift crazy. I mean, I wasn't a specimen, but I do think like when you're shredded or you're buff, you know what I mean? I think there's more potential for that. I mean, you're running like a Ferrari. I kind of ran like a beaten up Ford F-150.
Oh.
You know what I mean? But I was consistent. I was consistent because Jamie Quirk said this to me on the top step of Kauffman Stadium, and I never forgot it. And he said, Soup, the best ability is availability. And I'm like, you know what? I'm going to be available. I'm going to make every start that I can, and that was my goal, and that was just a mentality. So I did pitch a lot when I wasn't I probably shouldn't have, you know what I mean? Like, you know, with some, you know, elbow strains or, you know, knee problems. I pitched through that. I mean, so, but I don't know. I mean, I just think it was being consistent in my workouts.
And if there's somebody in the room that's always injured, don't guys kind of talk about it or roll their eyes? And I mean, you kind of know the guys who are always not making that start or, answering the bell? I mean, I would think as teammate, you kind of know who they are.
I mean, I think it becomes apparent, and I think guys kind of separate themselves. I mean, most of us are friendly. Doesn't mean we're all best friends, but in the end, we're trying to win games, and those things happen. I mean, there's some injuries that there's nothing you could do, and then there's others that you're like, that's interesting. Randy Johnson's pitching and everyone's sick. I don't get it, but there are times when certain players have earned that right. Okay, they have 100%. They have enough dirt in their spikes. They're a veteran. They paid their dues, and they've earned the right to take those days off. Obviously, in the playoffs, you wouldn't, and things like that. But there's kind of unwritten rules in those things like that.
I bet it was frightening to face Randy Johnson, whether you're a right or left-handed hitter. Do you get to face him much as a hitter?
I got to face him one time, and I had to bunt. I did not know where the ball was coming from. That was the one time where I was like, I have some fear because I didn't know where the ball was coming from. He was so tall. He was striding out so far. His arm angle was way low, and I never saw the ball, really.
Did you get the bunt down?
So I don't think I did on that one.
No.
But thanks for asking.
Well, you got to move the runner over.
Right, but I mean, I would have taken a dose. I would have. I mean, when I had to sack bunt, I'm like, okay, well, guess what? If he throws it in, I'm taking it. You know what I mean? But I didn't. That was a tough bunt. And actually, to be honest with you, I told. Gosh, I can't even think of his name right now. McKernan.
Kyle McClellan.
He does the radio. Yeah, he does the radio show. So I was telling him a story. I said, you know what? When I was in Milwaukee, I was designated the first one off the bench to bunt. Right, in a bunt situation, we had some injuries, and so in theory, it was all fun. All right, yeah, awesome. I had my stuff down. I'm all ready. But then I had to be ready every single game to go in and pitch bunt if needed. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is exhausting. And so when you had to face, it was against the Cardinals. And typically, if you're facing a starting pitcher, and you're pitching, I'm going to give you a ball to bunt, okay? I'm going to take the out. I'll give you a ball. Don't pitch me inside. If you pitch me inside, I'm coming in hard off the plate to you. And so most starting pitchers would give the other pitcher a ball to bunt because they had to bunt, right? And then but when you came in to face a reliever, they always they were going to strike you out. They wanted to strike out. So Kyle threw a super sinker, and it was right off my hand, right? And I'm like, you jerk. Right? But now I'm not going to face him again. And then the next one, I popped up, and I struggled bunting ever since. You know what I mean? So it was like, against relievers. And so I got all jabby, and I popped up. I think this game was in Milwaukee. And that made his day, and he told me that. I told him that in an interview we did, and he loved it. But I did pride myself on bunting. Buck Showalter, when I was in Arizona, he said, "Look, if you can't bunt, you're going to be out of the game when your second at bat comes up." So I was like, I better bunt. So.
I still like when the pitchers hit. I know it's like an automatic out, but it did involve strategy. When do you pinch hit for him? When do you try and let him swing away? And I always love when the third baseman was halfway in. You'd fake the bunt, you meaning a pitcher, and then just swinging away. I always said, oh my God, the third baseman's going to die.
You know what? That's the game. I loved it. I love the National League game because you 100% situationally pitched. You had to know the lineup, deeper into the lineup to see who was going to pinch hit. And I could pitch around people, and I had an out in there, and I could play for the double play. Now it's like the American League. It's like it's like they used to call it like high arc softball, right? Just here it is and hit it as far as you can, But the National League, they gave you more fastballs. Hitters took more fastballs, and you could situationally pitch. They were more disciplined hitters. I'm not saying everybody, but I'm just saying in general. That's why I love the National League, because you had to. It was a lot more thinking, and I enjoyed that part. American League was very hard. I mean, you had to throw your ace stuff almost every pitch. They were 100% swinging 3-0. I mean, that's how I learned how to pitch backwards in the American League, because everyone was swinging. If they got into a fastball count, there was no taking the 3-0. You know what I mean? And I missed that. I missed that part of it.
Guys, if only there was some type of technology they could look stuff up. Oh, anyway, here you go. Jeff Suppan spent a total of approximately 2.5 months, roughly 75 days on the Major League Disabled List, now the IL, over the 17-season career. Roughly 75 days. Another listener had it at about 90, but you get the idea. Pele Blanco said, well, he didn't throw hard enough. That's fine.
It's not fair.
That's fine. Whatever works, works.
I'm not offended by that. I'm not offended by that.
No, you're not.
Who was that? Paleo? Hey, Paleo, guess what? Throwing 100 and you don't throw strikes, what's the difference? You know what I mean?
See?
So, and I didn't light up the radar gun. I'm not offended.
Pele Blanco. Soup was an old, reliable Toyota pickup, the kind of Toyota pickup without a name, not a Tacoma or a Tundra, just pickup. Clutch AF. There you go. That's a compliment from Gene Steckschulte's wicked slide piece. See? Okay, the sports coming in. When is Soup coming into town? That's from the Cronky Hater.
That's a great question. I think in June. I think there's a Friday in June. I got it on my big board calendar. I'll be coming in June. Good Lord willing, and Friday, Saturday. I think I'd roll out on Sunday.
Guys, it's about time.
I got a question.
Okay, you got a question. Okay, it's, Doug, are you taking questions?
Well, maybe one or two.
Okay, so you guys do an Instagram post, and I'm trying to figure out who this is, and it's one person, and they play like all of you. Who does that?
It's got to be a Chairman Kurt thing, right?
Yeah, Chairman Kurt.
Who made the lovely Ode to You, the song, Soup Gone Cold, but he does.
Yeah, but I mean, I've never seen him, so I didn't know if that was Chairman Kirk, but he'll play like all of you, and he'll do like a recap video. It's kind of funny.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. He likes it. Kind of fun with audio is kind of a chairman staple.
Okay, so that's the chairman. All right. Now I know. Go ahead. Carry on.
Let's see. The Heiser House Hooligan was excited that you were back on and said he'd be, let's see, I'll be rocking my Soup jersey tonight at the old ballpark. Cards and Cubs. How about a Cards-Cubs weekend, Soup?
Nice. Oh, man, love it.
What would you do if you were at the park?
That's Zambrano. Hey, that Zambrano guy, dude, he raked. That guy could hit.
Oh, as a pitcher? Oh, absolutely.
Remember him?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, Carlos Zambrano. He'd be a guy, like, if the game, if he were in the game currently, you'd use him as a pinch hitter. I guess you'd be afraid he might, as a pitcher, that he could get hurt. But that's a guy, that'd be a weapon off the bench.
Oh, my gosh, for sure. That guy raked. But yeah, no, love Cards Cubs series, man. It's awesome.
But you guys get up for every game, but then the media comes in before the game and says, yeah, I know, but is this one is a little different when it's the Cards and Cubs? And they're like, no, they're all the same. And we go, yeah, we know, but is it a little different? We're looking for a soundbite. Is it a little different?
You're looking for a soundbite from me? Well, it depends. I mean, if we're in the race and it matters. If we're battling each other, it matters. That one year when they had Carey and Zambrano and Pryor, or maybe Zambrano wasn't there. That was, what was that, 03? 03? I'm sure those were good series.
And actually, you had me thinking about Zambrano. He pitched from 2001 to 2011 with the Cubs, finished with the Marlins. So he would have been there in 03. Do you know how many home runs Carlos Zambrano hit?
14.
24.
Oh.
What?
Wow. He hit 6 in one season.
Dude, that is crazy. Well, I have to say, in the beginning of the season, I don't know where he hit his bombs, But in the beginning of the season, I loved pitching in Wrigley because the wind blew in. It was just like, here you go. Hit it as far as you want. It's going to be a pop-up. But later in the season, balls were flying. But that dude had a lot of power. He had a lot of power for a pitcher.
Well, was it hard to play late in the season, those years when you're out of it, going nowhere, 95 degrees out somewhere, and you still got to go out there and give it everything you have? Was that a difficult thing to do?
No, but and I'll say it like this: so in the beginning part of my career, there was no like making the playoffs. You know what I mean? I could see where if you were Derek Jeter and you came up and you were winning, and you had that mentality of like winning, and then it could be a little more challenging. But if you weren't in playoff contention, but I think every player, I mean, they should have the same mentality. You're playing for one game, so you're going to give your best. And I used to fight. Well, a lot of players would kind of check out if they were out in September, and I used to pick up a lot of wins in September because I was like, I got to finish. I've got to finish strong, because people don't always remember how you start; they remember how you finish. And I always had the mentality of this game is the biggest game of the year, and I fought all the mental stuff of like, hey, we're getting ready for the off season. I'm packing all this stuff. Like, I used to hate in the locker room when guys would start packing their boxes up before the season was over. I go, why would you do that in the middle of the locker room? Like you're telling everyone you're shutting down. Like, so I would do that, but I would do that before anyone got there, because I didn't want to distract anybody. But it's not easy, but you learn how. I guess you just learn how to be a professional, and you play until the season's over. That's it.
Martin, get this MFer in the studio. It's a compliment. Get him in there for an hour when he's in June. He's the greatest. That's a texture with no name on it that loves Jeff Suppan. People wanting to know, will he be at any guns when he's in town? What restaurants does he enjoy in St. Louis?
I hope so.
All right.
I hope so. There was this unbelievable place, and only if you lived in Clayton would you really know it. But, I mean, it was just the perfect lunch spot. I think it was called Vincenzo's, and I forgot what street it was on. It might have been on, like, Ladue, but Ladue in Clayton. So I think when you get off at 170, to the left is Ladue, and if you go right, it's a different street. It's on the same street as that Brown Shoe Company.
Oh, look at this. It's pretty detailed.
Yeah, and then St. Joseph's Catholic Church was right on the corner.
Yeah.
And anyway, Vincenzo's, it had pizza.
Oh, yeah, like an oven. It was like a brick
pizza.
oven pizza or something.
Dude, it was a little brick oven pizza and a Caesar salad. It was phenomenal. I love that place. And they went out of business. I was so disappointed. That was one of my spots. And then there was this other place.
That's amazing, because probably a few years before you were here, I lived in that area. I think it was Il Vincenzo. I know exactly what you're talking about.
Oh, yeah, that's what it was called. Yes. Wow. Well, and then there was this other restaurant that I used to go to, and it was Jimmy. Jimmy knew the owner, and it was a great spot. It was right on the corner, too. Had a little parking lot in front. If you said the name, I might know, but it was just like in Clayton. It was like a little, I think it was another little Italian place. It was awesome. I mean, they were friends of the Cardinals.
Oh, Napoli. I'm sure it was Napoli. You're saying where you park right in Napoli.
Cafe Napoli. Yes. Cafe Napoli. Oh, my gosh. Now, yeah. Now, don't get mad at me, but I wasn't really into the frozen custard. Like, Jason Marquis loved it. Like, Ted Drews, he would go there all the time. Woody Wood, he would go there all the time. And I never really got into it. I mean, I would go every blue moon, but it wasn't like my thing. But I didn't really get a whole lot of opportunities to go really outside to a lot of restaurants. But I hope I can go to Annie Gunn's, man. Bone-in filet, man. I loved it.
This guy's got it all figured out. All right, let us know the dates, and then we'll get the MFer in studio, according to the text line. What a great compliment. Il Vicino apparently is the name that we're searching for. Soup, great to catch up, buddy. We'll see you soon, it sounds like, here in St. Louis.
All right, sounds great.
There it is. That's the one, the only Jeff Suppan with us. I got the hard wrap, I don't know, about 5 minutes ago.
Okay, well.
Time for a break, fellas. It's TMA on 101 ESPN. It's almost June. If you've not put together a little family getaway for the summer, there's still time. Get online at flymidamerica.com. That's where you'll find out more about Mid-America St. Louis Airport, located in Muscuda, Illinois. And Allegiant has these great flights direct to Florida. If you're thinking about hitting the beach, you can get down to Fort Myers or Destin, Orlando, Fort Lauderdale. So many different locations in Florida available direct from Mid-America St. Louis Airport. Also, Gulf Shores added that a little over a year ago. Going to South Carolina or Las Vegas, all these great summer spots. Get it booked online, and then when you experience Mid-America St. Louis Airport, you'll find out there is a big-time difference. Park right in the lot in front, get through security, TSA, and get to the gate all in about 20 minutes. Unheard of in this era of flight travel. How simple and reasonably priced it can be. Find out more online, flymidamerica.com. People are starting to figure out the convenience, the value, and the great locations they have at Mid-America St. Louis Airport. PK and Ferrari coming up 11 o'clock. Fast Lane 2 to 6. The morning after presented by Brown and Croup and Martin. Doug Jackson with you. Chairman Kurt listening en route to Napa, I guess. Soup texted in. KG texted the program as he is headed to Napa for the weekend. Tim back on Monday. Bob Costas in the 8 o'clock hour. You can always go back and check out. Schaefer Door brings you the podcast of the show if you want to hear any of the previous segments. We talked about the 50 forgotten Cardinals. We've got the Design Air email of the day still coming your way. Big Cards, Cubs, weekend on deck. Battlehawks tonight, Doug, playoff game already cemented, but if they win, then they get a home playoff game. That'd be next Sunday, same day as the Indy race, same day as the Cardinals and Reds. This is 9-game Cardinal homestand coming your way.
Love it.
How about that?
People going to get out to the ballpark. I think they got to 2 or 3.
But you don't want to go tonight. Dan Janson offered great seats.
Saturday's when I want to go.
You're looking to go on Saturday.
But you won't have tickets like that.
No, I don't care. Just get me in the building. But I'm going to.
Why don't you go
get my own
standing room
damn
only?
tickets?
Buy a standing room and then go out to those right field bleachers, which I'm hearing is the new section for Tarps Off.
Yeah, this just in.
Mm-hmm. Baez is 23 next month.
Yeah.
It's the other story. We got
to nail these things down. Is that a new report?
I think so.
Need some clarity.
Over communicate.
Yeah.
And Papers calls this a parking lot show.
No.
That's more of a holiday weekend.
Yeah.
Let's say you're going to be like last Friday, you're leading into Memorial Day weekend, you know you're off Monday.
Yeah. When we were live from the Dotem, that was a fairway.
Because you guys
show.
were just thinking about
Yeah, that was a fairway
golf.
show. We had one foot in the fairway.
Are you golfing this weekend? You're going to the lake, you said. A lake, not the lake.
It's a day trip thing, though. It's not like.
So it's planned.
No,
We're just
not
allowed to
necessarily.
know.
It's still a loose plan.
You're in talks.
And what was the name of this Shishawali puddle you're going to?
Governor Bond Lake.
That's right. Governor Bond Lake.
Not good enough for you?
Well,
Was that the
you're
real
doing
answer?
your best.
Yeah.
The boy's trying
That's the
his
name of a
best.
lake?
I don't know what to tell you. It's not a big lake.
Was it Kit Bond's backyard or something?
That's exactly right.
Governor Bond Lake.
It's more of a reservoir.
It's in Bond County, Illinois.
He was the Missouri governor, not the Illinois governor.
Bring it up with
Ask
the
these
lake.
questions.
Of
Before
who?
you go to a lake, you ask questions like that.
Who do you ask it of? You can't
How's
interview
everybody in
Lake Monitor?
Durley, Illinois? It looks like it's near Durley, not far from Woburn.
Doug asked me if he said I should be interviewing the lake.
Oh, Lake Monitor.
That's a job?
I'm sure it is.
Lake Monitor?
There's a guy who sits by the phone taking incoming calls for people who want to know why is this lake named Governor Bond when he was the governor of Missouri.
Little northeast of Greenville.
Right. There's a prison
University.
in Greenville.
Love that. And a university convenient. If it doesn't work out, here's what's going to happen to you, fella, right over there.
Would you like to take a tour of a prison?
I've done Alcatraz.
How about a prison with prisoners in it?
My dad used to play softball and basketball against prisoners. They would
Yeah.
go to the prison. Yeah,
I did that once.
Yeah.
I played basketball once at Moberly in a prison.
It was, but you don't really tour it, right? They just bring you into the gym.
There's no touring.
No.
Hey, how's everybody out in the yard?
My dad said he was like a couple
Grabbing some lunch?
A couple times in basketball, I was like a little scared to hit a mid-range jumper on somebody because he seemed to not be too fired up.
Well, isn't the joke, what are we playing, prison rules?
Right. Right.
Like you're going to argue over a call? Hey, I'd let it go. He killed a man.
Yeah.
Like, okay, that's not a travel. You're good.
Yeah.
You're good.
When I went, we drove in a couple of cars, and one guy brought his girlfriend. We got to the prison. They said, the girl can't come into prison.
Yeah.
No way.
Right.
Okay. She had to sit in the car.
Already pushing it with
She
you
had
and
to
your
sit in
pretty
the car for
mouth.
2.5 hours.
Yeah.
I never heard of that before.
Sure.
Just fellas showing up at the prison to play?
Well, I would hope it was scheduled. I don't think it was like a pickup game.
Yeah.
I understand that, but still. How do you get on the old prison circuit? Rejected by the Y? Jeff, call in.
Someone in the Michelob Ultra YouTube chat says Governor Bond was the first governor of Illinois.
Oh.
Hey, it just
Not Kit Bond.
Just so happens that we had a bond and they had a bond.
Eartha Kitt. I think it was Eartha Kitt was the mayor.
I doubt it.
Show me something that says I'm wrong.
Eartha Kitt was the mayor?
Yeah.
Of what?
Of Illinois. A governor.
It's Shadrick Bond, you knucklehead.
Hey.
That's from the blind
What's the first
veteran.
name?
Shadrick.
Shadrick?
That's what I'm
It's a
just
good
reading.
name. Sounds Irish, honestly. Am I wrong?
Yeah,
Paper seems like a real Goose Creek kind of guy. Mahomes long body.
What about the gentleman makes you think he's Goose Creek?
I'm looking at this
Long
Governor
neck, I
Bond.
guess.
It looks like a lovely little spot there, pal.
Yeah, it's a nice little.
I like your plan.
It's a nice little lake.
There's a
How'd you
good pizza
find this?
pie joint in Greenville.
I have a friend who his family has a little spot out there.
It looks lovely.
Huh.
You think Uncle Rich would like it out there?
Yeah. Just a little camping on the side.
You know who I know would like it out there? It's Dr. Brandon Pryor. I went out there last week, talked it over with Dr. Brandon Pryor. They took a look at my mouth. Good dentistry work over there. Here's Tim talking about 100 West Dental right now.
You guys already know Dr. Brandon Pryor at 100 West Dental on Manchester in Baldwin can take great care of your dental needs, but he can also help you get your sleep back. He treats sleep apnea with custom oral appliances, an alternative to a CPAP. So no mask, no machine for the right candidates. If you think you might have a sleep issue or you've already been diagnosed, they'll do a complimentary consultation to see if it's a fit. At least go get checked because bad sleep catches up with you. You're not performing at 100% if you're not sleeping right at work, in the gym, anywhere. And yeah, this is still the best place for veneers, implants, full smile rehab, the bigger dental work. Visit 100westdental.com. and go see Dr. Pryor. Book your complimentary sleep apnea treatment consult online at 100westdental.com.
Friend of the show, Chris Mitchell, said WashU men's basketball would send their JV, their university squad, over to play the prisons under head coach Mark Edwards. I've never heard of this.
I'm a big fan of Coach Mark Edwards.
Oh, yeah, me too.
Are you a big fan of going to play local prisons?
I would do it. I'll hoop anywhere.
Well, they don't let just anybody
not in the
play
yard.
on the prison side. They don't let the mass murderers play.
Right. It's more of like...
What are you in for? A little bit of larceny? Oh,
Yeah,
you're good.
some light larceny.
Can you dribble?
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah. Maybe some fraud.
Light larceny.
Yeah.
Who's big for you in the post? Oh, he's a fraud guy. You're good.
Yeah. We got an arsonist playing the point.
Just the concept.
Mm-hmm.
It's just foreign to me, that's all.
Yeah.
And now next week when we bring this up again, I'm like, what?
Yeah, you're like, did this really happen?
No,
Really?
but the prisoners loved it.
Yeah, I'm
Well,
sure.
I bet they
Yeah,
did.
and there was a bunch of them watching, too. and
Sure.
They got a kick out of it. Gave them something to look forward to.
I can't see, Doug, you seem like you get a little nervous at times. You're pretty buttoned up. I can't believe you were good with that.
This was college days, early
Okay.
college days.
Okay.
And Doug also is a ball player, so...
Yeah, I know, but still. Yeah.
I walked into the prison. First thing I said is I'm handing out lollipops and ass whippings, and I'm fresh out of lollipops. that kept him in line.
Yeah. Next thing you know, Doug has a tattoo on his neck with a mother with a heart around it.
Here's your lollipop fella.
Yeah, prison Vaughn.
All right, we've got the... This could really get sideways. All right, time to take a break. It's the Morning After on 101 ESPN.
TMA is proud to be sponsored by Stiefel. It's true, good things come to those who wait. At Stiefel, great things come from knowing when to act. For 135 years, Stiefel has helped individuals, families, and business owners make thoughtful financial decisions. Founded in St. Louis in 1890, Stiefel combines deep local roots with national capabilities. From customized wealth management to investment banking and traditional banking, Stiefel delivers fully integrated solutions designed for complex financial lives, whether you're growing, preserving, or transitioning wealth. That same long-term mindset is why Stiefel proudly supports TMA, because they know success is all about timing and knowing when the moment is actually the moment. Investing, banking, advising. Stiefel, where success meets success. Stiefel Nicholas and Company Incorporated, member SIPC and NYSE.
Hey, this is Jackson with a Sports Center update brought to you by Universal Windows Direct. Cardinals and Cubs in St. Louis all weekend. First pitch tonight, 6:15 with Andre Palante towing the slab for the Redbirds. There's been another Sports Center update brought to you by Universal Windows Direct. You'll be saying, I love my windows.
I guess it's a thing. I didn't even know. Fungo has texted in, Martin St. Gabriel's plays local prisons all the time. Thanks. Packer Dave, I'm a high school teacher. We take a field trip to prison every year. It's a wild experience.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the prisoners really love it.
I'll tell you what's just a lovely experience, and they sponsor Doug's Suspension Logio. That's the appliance discounters where Umanga resides currently.
Oh, yeah, he's in there 2 days'
At
time.
least till midnight.
Thank you, appliance discounters, for holding up some level of decorum in this show.
Absolutely. Here's Tim talking about appliance discounters.
Hey, TMA listeners, Appliance Discounters has an exclusive deal just for you. Come in today and receive an instant 5% rebate off your next appliance purchase. That's right, 5% instant savings off the already low prices. In addition to the 5% instant rebate, you can receive other factory rebates, some up to $1,500 direct from the manufacturer. Now you know why they are called the Appliance Discounters. Huge savings, locally owned, next day delivery, 18 months interest-free financing, all from the #1 largest family-owned appliance retailer in St. Louis. Visit any of their 7 area locations. They are in Afton, Baldwin, Concord Plaza, Earth City, Maplewood, St. Charles, or shop online at theappliancediscounters.com.
You got to love the randomness of the show. When I look up at a text that said Governor Vaughn was the first governor of Illinois, and their previous text in was Delano DeShields. Because we're just talking random Cardinals. Papers, we got to hand out the winner. Is that correct? Of the Design Air email of the day.
Today's winner, the TMA Troubadour.
Oh, he's won a few now.
Yeah, he's stacking them up there.
He won yesterday also.
And we're at the end of the month here, pal. What are we looking at? The math has got to be getting tight. Well, in fact,
this is a three-way tie. I have it down.
The last day of the month.
This is the last day of the month, yeah. I have it a three-way tie with poor film student Buck Swope and TMA Troubadour.
Oh, wow. So what happens now? A runoff into Monday?
Yeah, I assume I might have to check my math on the standings. Well, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I try my best. Boy, am I trying.
This is really disappointing.
This gang is exhausted. Is Doug going to be business left attended?
Doug doesn't. You don't. Tim doesn't.
Wow. We've handed out the email.
We've done it all.
We have done it all. All right, parking lot awaits. BK and Ferrario coming your way next. Thanks, as always, tuning in to TMA.